you guys decided, well, it's probably time to get out of Dodge, but not before we, open for the mayor. So, you...
Friend for mayor!
Exactly, yeah. You proceeded to find a drunkard and try and make him the mayor. It didn't work, but the blacksmith got mayorship, and throughout this entire process, Mr. Mayorman was kind of ousted as not so much of a nice guy. He had been doing kind of secret dealings and making, some deals with some of the farms on the outskirts to do some unscrupulous things and make some extra cash off of it, and a bunch of other things, and cheating on his wife and all that crazy crap too. So anyways, turns out that just as a side note, a very important side note, that apparently his wife wasn't so faithful either, because Brett for mayor, right? So anyways, after all this, you guys brought Beth on as a companion, poor, distraught, disturbed, psychotic Beth, and set off, not before discovering the mayor's dead corpse on your path to the next town. The next town name was Umbermill, and it was going to be along the way to a larger city called Ardell, which you hadn't known a ton about, outside the fact that it was large, and had at one time in the distant past been at war with another eastern city. And that's like all the information you guys really given about it. Sorry, I'm going over things a while minute here. I should also note that you met a strange fellow in the town who appeared to have a bunch of wounds all over his neck, and he had kind of helped fight off the undead. You guys had originally thought that he was risen from the dead, but maybe not so sure that he wasn't so far. But he was definitely kind of a strange figure, and let you on to the fact that he was actually there to hunt some monsters, which were some of the guys that maybe you had encountered at the farm. And upon finding out his path, you all asked more or less if you could help him in some way. He said no, and after much convincing, he said, well, you're not my problem, but maybe my buddy's problem, and told you that if you went to Ardell, you could find someone by the name of Berengar, and he may be able to give you some work in the trade of killing, but no guarantees. So that was kind of the final decision to set off to Ardell. And like I said, you left to the east, crossed the path, found the dead mare, went into the forest on your way to Umbermill, met some nice little scary tree guys, set them on fire, lit some of the scream, had a good time all in all, made a lot of extra timber in the woods, and
saw a ghost parade.
Sorry?
Saw a ghost parade. That was pretty cool.
Saw a ghost parade, yeah. And you also met some crazy dude in the forest who was really into the ghost parade. And, so he was pretty neat. Yeah, you got to see the March of the Dead. And the explanation behind the March of the Dead was that a very, very long time ago, there were some wars in this area, and these ghosts were kind of living on to continue their everlasting march to this war, more or less. The guy didn't make it extremely clear what they were all about, but he gave you a few different pieces of info, and that was one of them. And the next day, on your way, you had an unfortunate encounter with some kind of evil old woman thing, hag type creature. She unfortunately made things difficult, and in that process ended up cursing Beth in some way. She ended up with some kind of weird markings on her forehead, and not before eliminating the hag, Beth was dealt with. Beth was no more. Antimaeus finished off Beth to try and prevent the curse from doing whatever it was going to do, and then promptly the witches or woman or hag, whatever the hell she was, hut, it was burnt to the ground along with Beth's corpse. And that is more or less where we left off, if memory is correct on that. I do have a question though. Did we burn Beth's bow? I feel like
Yes.
pie.
Yeah, I threw it in.
Yes, we did.
Hardcore.
Did we find anything at the hags?
No. Other than her hut was like skinned people, and there was like people flailed all around, and we're like, let's just burn this place and get out of here.
Yeah,
We're done.
all she stole was my pride. That was about it. I couldn't hit her.
And unfortunately, said pride was not found in the loot.
Shame is contained.
Yeah, but in all seriousness,
And
yeah,
we never actually killed the hag. She disappeared.
Yeah, she got away. So is likely still, stalking you, waiting to eat you, all sorts of good stuff. But
cool.
That's a story for another day. Cool. So my first question to you guys is, and sorry, we're still a little bit in power mode, and we'll see why in a sec. My first question is, after those events, is Ardell still somewhere you want to go, or are your thoughts kind of changing on that subject?
I think we're so defeated, we're just gonna go there because that's our only option at this point. We need to get out of this forest. That's yeah. I think we're all kind of done. I'm saying yeah. We're just going there, and then we'll make up our minds from there if we're gonna stay in the city or what we're gonna do.
Okay. All right. Cool. So if that's the case, then we're going to jump forward just a little bit here. So shortly after your encounter with the hag and burning down the hut and maybe taking a little bit of time, you make your way through the forest, and the never-ending path of this forest that had taken, a good 10 days to get through. All in all, the next couple days don't feel so hard, at least not in comparison, and you make it through to Umbermill. Umbermill is kind of a small, quaint little town. It's named Umbermill because there is a mill owned by a family whose last name is Umber.
Don't say.
Originally, they were going to be woodcutters, but they forgot the L, so it was just, it didn't work. Sorry, that was bad. Anyways, so yes, it is Umbermill, so named again for the family that is been there for a very, very long time and supposedly founded the town. People of Umbermill are a decent folk, but they're not necessarily warm by any means. Clearly, they're not used to people traveling through, especially not through that forest. And you're not merchants, so several, when you approach the village, kind of offer to trade, and although you might have a few items that you think might be of value, they kind of look at you all and go, like, "What the hell is this? I want carrots. I don't want swords or that sort of thing." So the people kind of give you a little bit of a cold shoulder. That said, you're still able to find room and board for the time that you need to stay in Umbermill. And not much else happens in this town. It's a pretty relaxing, you could say, experience in the town. And shortly after, you're able to continue on to Ardell. So after about another 10-day of travel, you arrive at the gates of Ardell. And Ardell is surrounded by pretty high and strong walls, but they're worn. They've definitely seen their day in the light, and it has passed. I wouldn't say the city's ragged from the outside, but you're not confident that, if it was sieged again in a war, that it would necessarily stand. That said, maybe for that reason, there are guards just freaking everywhere. It's like an anthill, and there's guards just pouring out of it. There's guys at the gates, there's guys on the walls, there's guys outside of the walls.
Do they have a matching armor, or is it all like mix mash?
It's pretty. Some of the guys look a little more uniform, but none of them are wearing like a standard or a logo or anything like that. Like, they're probably recruited military types. But they range from, kind of a standard chain setup all the way down to some of the guys on the walls are wearing just basic leather, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Wouldn't describe them as ragtag, but definitely mismatched. So here you stand, probably still a few hundred feet away from the walls, because I don't want to assume that you're going to approach. And taking a look at this city of Ardell.
I go to the tavern.
Straight up.
Alright, so you guys are going to approach that and enter the city?
Yeah.
So you...
What time of day is it?
You arrive mid-morning.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys overestimated the night before how much longer you had to go, and you slept a night and then walked 2 hours and realized you were there.
We could have slept in beds last night.
Yeah, so it's mid-morning. And you can see that the population of travelers in this area is definitely a little bit higher than, obviously, the towns on the outskirts. There's several merchant carts that are going to and from the city. I mean, I wouldn't describe it as hustle-bustle by any means, but, a number greater than 0 is more than what you guys have been used to for the last few years, at least. So, city definitely looks alive. And as you approach the gates, the guards don't seem to pay you much attention. You get a couple kind of glances, probably to make sure that you're not running in there swords drawn or something. But otherwise, no one really seems to pay too much attention to you. And they let you pass the gate without issue.
Berserker Rage.
How dare they not look at me?
To the tavern!
So as you're walking down the street, the main kind of path, there are several taverns to choose from. The first one that kind of catches your eye is the Raven's Blossom. There are more if the Raven's Blossom scares you, but that's the first one that looks like you're not probably going to get stabbed all to hell by one.
To be honest, I don't give a shit what the hell you guys do. I'm gonna go get a drink. So I'm gonna look for like the roughest tavern there is and just drink in that one.
Alright, maybe not the Raven's Blossom then. We will be looking instead at... Well, how deep do you really want to go on the roughness of the scale? Like, do you want to be rough on yourself emotionally, or you want to be physically rough?
A little both.
Alright, well, there's the Coward's Tier.
Well, I think you already got
The Coward's Tier, that's perfect. That one.
The Coward's Tier it is.
Is there gonna be like a bunch of shoegazing emos in there, or...
Hair flips. No, you walk in, and for something called the Coward's Tier, it's not quite as dead as you might expect. They've got some music, but it's definitely a rough place. This is probably where there's like the high class tavern for rich adventurers. There's like the working man's tavern, and then there's like the how the hell did I end up here kind of tavern. And this is kind of in the how did I end up here kind of tavern. There's some guys in there that look pretty beaten up and bruised. There's a few kind of drunks and poor types that are begging for drinks inside. And the patron of the bar doesn't really seem to care, because if someone eventually gets the coin, it means it's coin spent.
Yeah.
So they don't seem to really care that there are people walking around begging for money. But no one seems to bug you too much. There's a few empty tables if you so wish to sit.
I'll just sit at the bar.
Okay. Is anyone else going in with pie to the Coward's Tier?
The Raven's Blossom sounded pretty good one.
Yeah, I decided to be there.
Oh, is my dog allowed in there?
Oh yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, okay.
I'll keep my dog out in the cart, and I'll tell him to guard it, and then I'm just gonna go in. I don't park the cart anywhere special. It's just like right in the front. Like the other group members, I'm like, I don't care. It's right here. Guard it, and I just go in.
I kind of want to stay up here, but I want a drink brought to me. So
Well, you better hurry up and say something before everyone leaves you.
No. my plan is to go in, grab a drink, and then go right back out to the cart.
Okay.
I've got stuff to do out there.
Alright, how about you, Antimaeus?
I'll hear that Almagar's coming back out, and I'll wait for him before taking the cart to a safer location.
Alright. Okay.
So I'll let Almagar know that he can let the others know that I'm going to the trade district.
Alright, so the three of you enter the tavern. You go to the bar. A gruff man just kind of stares at you and doesn't speak, but he kind of taps the bar and he points at a sign behind him that says ale, 2 coppers. He just kind of stares at you.
Yeah, I'll slide a silver onto the counter and be like, keep him coming.
Okay, he takes the silver. he has left and puts it in his little pouch, walks over to a keg in the back and fills up a mug and tosses it your way. The mug that he hands you, it doesn't necessarily look really too clean, but
I got raped by a
He
witch,
looks-
so.
he looks to you, Almagar, and you, Maple, kind of giving you the same look.
I
I'll
toss.
put down a 4 copper because I want 2 drinks.
Okay.
I'll,
Grabs him.
I'll
Says
also
pouch.
toss him a silver, and I'll say keep him coming too.
Okay. Alright, he walks over and he grabs 2 mugs, and then the shelf he grabbed it off of doesn't have any more, and he kind of looks around. And you see some guy pass out at the bar with like a half-empty one, and he just grabs it and he dumps it. And wipes on this. And then he fills that one, and the other 2.
That's great.
And he puts one in front of you, Maple, and he gives 2 to you, Almagar. And then now that he's done this, he just kind of looks past you, looks around the bar, and slowly kind of walks away.
I'm just going to mention to Maple there that I'm going to go with Animaeus and check out the trade district there and stock up on some provisions.
I'll meet you down there in a bit. Gonna rest for a little bit here first.
For sure.
As I
Kinda
just start
casually with the
chugging
drink.
and slowly just like walk to an empty table. Yeah, meet you there. But this first.
Nice. I'm going to kind of look like I'm going to a table, and then kind of when I get to the kind of drinks there, the side door, I'll just go with my drinks.
Alright. Yeah, no one seems to bother you even as you leave with 2 mugs. Maybe that's why the guy couldn't find the third. Clean. But yeah, you get outside, there's Antimaeus and the cart. Antimaeus, obviously you see Almagar leaving the tavern.
Alright. I'll hand Animaeus a ale, if you want it.
I'll take it, yeah.
And yeah, if he will, I'll just kind of hop up on the back of the cart and start drinking.
Alright. And you guys are off to the trade district, you said?
Yeah, some kind of market or something.
Okay. So you'll take just a cruise through town to find said market?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably stay on like one of the main routes. To,
Sure. Okay.
So if there's more than one, they might have
Gonna
fun
come
finding
find me
it.
at the table.
Yep.
If it's still good, this is the city I would have come from originally.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So, my whole thing, unless Scott wants to do anything specific, my whole thing is just to rebuy, like, all the provisions we would have used over the past duration of time.
Sure.
So if you just let us know how much that costs, and then if Scott wants to buy anything specific, we can grab that, but that's just kind of my goal.
Are you buying for 4 people, or are you buying for 1 or 2?
Right now, like in the group loot, we had a bunch of rations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like horse feed, and we had 40 rations, individual rations. So just kind of like stock up on that stuff, and then if everyone else has their individual stuff, that's fine. But just to have kind of like backup.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Good thinking.
And just remember, just for randomly, we have a human skin loot sack and a really nice pair of used leather boots. They, I think we saw a mayor in them at one time.
That's awesome.
Oh man, yep. All right, so you guys head down to the trade district. Antimaeus, you're fairly familiar with where it is, so you lead the cart on down there. You two at the tavern. Anything in particular you'd like to accomplish here aside from drinking away your sorrows?
No.
Okay,
I'm gonna play some drums, cause I can.
okay.
And, I'm in a mood, so it's drinking and drums until about it hits noon, and then, or whatever comes first, if I run out of that silver in my drinks, then that's when I'm gonna just leave and I'll go down to the merchants.
Alright. I too enjoy a little bit of D&D. Drinking and drum.
And I'm proficient in it, by the way. I did take that, yeah.
So there is a guy playing a little bit of music. Well, music is a rough term for it. He's got like this little kind of lute thing, and he's more so telling a story than he is singing, but it's kind of like semi-musically. Do you want to assist this guy in what he's doing, or do you want to try and get people to turn their attention away from him and to you?
Away from him.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. Give me a roll for your
What should I roll?
You said you're proficient, right?
Yeah.
So you can add your proficiency to a charisma check, I guess. Of course, I choose the transparent dice. Dark.
I rolled a 1.
Well, today's a good start, guys. Get out of your system. Yeah, playing the drums is the best thing to critically fail.
I'm just starting. It's been a rough
Punch a
day.
hole through your drum.
If I remember correctly, I think the last time we played where a critical failure was the first roll, a party would die. Anyways, sorry, I was just a dick. Yeah, okay, so you play the drums and you're not finding the beat. Maybe it's the
I'm gonna keep going at it while I'm in there. So yeah.
All the events. I mean, you're playing to suit yourself. You're reasonably happy with what you're doing, but no one else is. They're all listening to this half-drunk guy tell a story and play the lute very badly. You two are at the market, doing your thing. I will give you an amount in a moment here. You two are at the bar, you're playing some drums. And with that, you can kind of talk amongst yourselves.
Seeing that your barbarian is going the path of the totem?
Yes.
And that one had actually some magic, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like,
path.
my character's a Canadian Viking. That's what I based Maple off of. I asked Alex if I could swap around what the totems were. So I don't have the totems that are in the book. Yeah, so instead of choosing bear, I changed it to beaver. The wolf is a moose. And for the eagle, I changed to a loon. So I'll have beaver, moose, and loon.
Nice.
Jordan, do you have the total amount for our group loot for money? I have it written down if you don't.
I think so. What do you have?
Copper 124, silver 117, and gold pieces 8.
Alright, cool. So, the day burns away slowly for those in the tavern. Thoughts drift through your head. I'm sure, you can elaborate for yourself how your character would be feeling, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't seem to move by too quickly. the patron of the bar is, or not the patron, the keep of the bar is fairly attentive. I mean, he's not great, but at the very least, he does keep him coming, if nothing else. The ale here is pretty watery. It's not great, but, you know, for 2 coppers a cup, it's, you know, not the worst swill you've ever had either. Not too much happening at the bar. Like I said, it's not too noisy or rowdy. Rough types in here, but they're keeping themselves most of the time. The one thing you do notice is several people enter the bar for a brief moment that have fairly colorful clothes on, to kind of set themselves apart from those in the dark gray and brown and such that everyone else in here is wearing. And kind of look around, and a few of them give each other looks, almost as if they're in the wrong place. They sit down at a table very briefly, and a man comes over and sits with them for maybe a few moments before they all stand up, and the ones in the colored clothes leave.
Do they say anything to one another, or do they just like come in silence, sit down?
There's a little bit of conversation exchanged, but very briefly. It's closer to them coming in, sitting down in silence than it is to talking. There are a few words exchanged. They sit, you know, blah, 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 and then they all stand up. The colored guys leave, and the guy who looks like he fits into this place goes and sits back down at the table he was at. So, yeah, but otherwise, that's really the only thing that seems kind of out of the ordinary. At the market, you guys arrive, and you're going to notice there's a ton of stuff being set up in the market. There are kind of these like poles with like colored ribbons hanging from them, and there's some of the trade tents, that sort of thing, have like these special cloths kind of draped over the top of them in bright reds and oranges and that sort of thing. This is kind of representative, you know, Antimaeus, of a festival that happens here once every year, and it's kind of to celebrate the next portion of the year, more or less. And it looks like they're setting up, and typically these festivals happen at like late day to night, so that, you know, everybody can get in a full day of work still before they start, you know, killing themselves. So essentially, it looks like they're getting that all set up, but regardless, the market is still in full operation. To give you guys kind of an idea as to how big Ardell is, it's certainly not a metropolis by any means. Like, it's not tens of thousands of people, but it's a fairly large city. For what exists in the area you're all familiar with, this is essentially the biggest city in this area of land. There's probably several thousand people who live here, which is, again, a very high number of people. And for visitors, like just in this market area alone, there's probably 100, 200 people kind of going around in this market area. So it's not an insignificant place to be. But there are stands for essentially anything you could think of as far as common goods are concerned. So, you know, food, leathers, cloths, that sort of thing. All the typical kind of market stuff exists here, but nothing too extravagant. You know, there's a few people peddling fine wares, but no one giving out, you know, magic swords or anything else, unfortunately. Magic swords, 2 copper apiece. So yeah, that's kind of what the market looks like. But you're able to stock up for only 2 gold pieces if you so wish, and that will replace everything that you use. So pie and maple. Is there anything in particular you guys would like to do, or are you just like outside of just what you had told me previously, or are you still just kind of drinking?
Could I roll to like eavesdrop on that conversation before they
Yeah,
leave?
100%. Yeah.
I got perception.
Wisdom. Yeah, perception's great.
7.
Okay. You don't hear specifically what they're saying, but you hear enough to know you can't understand it. In the sense that it's another language. They're not speaking common.
Okay.
But that's really all. You can't even make out really the syllables of what they're saying, but the words you hear, I mean, unless you've really heard it really wrong, does not sound like it's common.
Do they have food here?
Yes, you can call it that.
Yeah, just get some meat for Jojo.
Sure. Sure.
Might be cheaper.
The barkeep walks up, seeing that you're kind of wanting something, kind of just gives you this dull look.
What do you want now?
Food. We got food here.
He points at the board, and he points at, like, meat, and it says 1 silver.
I guess I'll get the meat.
He turns around, goes into a small room in the back. You hear, like, a thud, thud, thud.
Oh god.
And then he comes back, and it's like this haunch of some kind. Either the largest chicken you've ever seen, or like the smallest person. One of the two. And he just kind of puts it down on this wooden dish. And then he puts his hand out and goes,
Yeah, I give him the silver. So,
ouch.
what 5-star chef made this gourmet meal? And he just-
He looks around the corner, and he goes,
Whatever, I don't even want to know. That's fine. So I'll give some to Jojo and see if he'll even eat it.
yeah, the dog eats it, no problem.
Okay.
Then he kind of points at Jojo, and he goes,
Are you mute?
He goes in the back, and he comes out with, like, a small bucket of bones, and he, like, plants them down in front of you, and these things just, like, reek. But he points at them, and he points at the dog, and goes,
You want some, Jojo? I don't know, is he excited?
the smell probably isn't too appealing to him either.
No, I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
He kind of just takes it and looks around, just puts it behind the counter somewhere, and then walks off to go help somebody else out.
Oh, kind of curious about that kitchen right now.
When was the last time the food inspector was back?
Yeah. Where the hell is the health and safety guy? Cool. So otherwise, you guys are just gonna hang out until noon and/or your ale runs out, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they happen pretty closely together. Surprise. You finish up the
Kinda
last
good.
ale that your silver will buy you, and you know this because the guy goes, he pulls the silver back out of his thing, and he, like, counts empty mugs. I mean, he's been refilling the same mug, but he, like, counts them along the counter of other people's. He goes, And he puts it in his pouch, and that's kind of the, universal guy who doesn't talk sign for you or pay more money to get. But glancing outside through one of the windows, it looks like the sun is probably, like, middle of the sky at this point, just kind of from how bright it looks out. So, hey, it's probably time to go anyways.
I'll start packing up my drums and all of that, and then I'll
Alright.
head over to you and smack you. Let's go.
Yeah, okay.
And for the two of you, Antimus and Almagar, it takes the better portion of the morning just to find everything that you need. I mean, they're all there, but you know how markets go. You need to wait for your turn and all that crap. So it's about noon by the time you guys end up buying up everything else that you're looking for. Is there anything that you two would like to do at this point, or you guys just kind of hang out and wait together?
Well, I know right now I definitely want to just take a look around and find the best food I can find, whether it's a market stall or somewhere on the side street or whatever, somewhere close by. But
Sure. But something
Looking for
not in a tavern, but like kind of out on one of these stand type things.
yeah, I've been eating trail rations for long enough. I want a meal, some good meat and cheese.
I hear you. All right. You're walking around the marketplace, and you find this one booth that looks fairly fairly significant. The guy, if there's money to be spent with these booths, has clearly invested more into it than others. It's a little bit larger, and he's actually got like a bonfire, not a bonfire, it's not that big, but like an enclosed, largish fire with like a spit roast going over it, and it's got,
I like
big
the
roast
style.
set on it. Yeah, and he's got like a dedicated guy who's just there like cranking it. Just looks like so dedicated to on even pacing. And then you instantly know why he's just so dedicated, because for a moment he lifts it up to scratch his face, because, interestingly enough, he only has one arm. So he has to lift his hand off to scratch his face. And the guy at the booth just like eyes the back of his head, middle of talking to somebody else, he goes, "Hey, you keep that thing turning. I am not burning. You're not burning things. I'm not paying to burn things." And he just like freaks out. And then the guy just goes back. He's just like really intense. But it looks like really good food.
Okay. I'll just mention Animaeus, and I don't know about you, I'm pretty hungry, so I'm gonna go grab myself some grub if you want to join me.
Sure, sounds good.
All right.
Cool.
So you approach the booth, and this man says, "Ah, you look like weary travelers. Would you like some of my fine food? I have cheeses. I have meats. I even have a special wine that perhaps you'd be interested in."
Absolutely, if you could put me together a platter of them. On trail rations for long enough, I need some real food.
All right. Can you both give me a perception check, please?
This is the most polite barbarian ever.
Yeah.
Cheers.
That's awesome.
Sir and or madam, if you do
I'm in a new
not
town. I want
rage,
to make a good impression. Oh,
Like the
cheerio.
monocle top hat.
dost thou play shuffleboard?
16 for
Looking
perception.
by a tie.
How about you, Antimaeus?
9.
So perhaps it's just that your barbarian instincts are taking over their Almagar, or what it is. But you've watched a lot of people roast things on rotisseries, okay? This guy, as much as the guy in front is kind of bitching at him, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. You'd think it'd be easy enough to rotate something at a constant pace, but the guy, he focuses on it. You're getting the impression he's focusing on it because he's so, like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the reason that kind of gives that impression is not only does he focus on it, but, like, after a few moments, after the guy kind of yells at him, he just kind of, like, slows it down, starts looking in the sky, and then it kind of burns on one section. And occasionally the guy catches him and gives him shit, and occasionally the guy doesn't. The other thing that stands out to you here is the guy's missing arm. The wound is the scar, or where the arm used to be, is exposed, and the way it was sealed back up looks fairly professional, which is odd because, again, most common people would probably have somebody pretty hastily sewn back up, and if they live and didn't get an infection, great, but if not, then well. Whereas this guy looks like he's been tended to by somebody who knew what they were doing. Now, again, this probably either speaks to the fact that either these guys have a lot of money, which, hey, maybe they do, or who knows. But those are just a couple odd things that you notice.
Well, kind of while I'm waiting, I'll just ask him how business is. How, has the city been busy lately?
Oh, yes, very, very busy. Rumors of war have drawn more people here than ever. It's quite wonderful. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want war, but if business is good before war, you know what they say, all's fair, or whatever.
Oh. Could you tell me about this war? I'm, like I said, we just arrived in town and traveled for some time.
I'm sure nothing really. It's just the city to the east has always had quite a lot of tension with Ardell. And because of this, threats are always slung back and forth. Recently, however, they've just been a little bit more aggressive with one another. Many people are saying that it's going to lead to an actual war, which there hasn't been in many, many years. But I, for one, don't really think so. But thought
Slower.
of such
Yeah,
a
oh, I know.
has really helped business. Not
Well,
really.
which city is this?
This is Bellhorn.
So again, I have to excuse my ignorance. I don't know much about that.
Oh yeah,
Don't
there's
worry
not
about
much to know about the city. Realistically, the rumor is that it was founded by savages, 100 years ago, and they've become civilized since. But you wouldn't know it going to the city. It's really not too glamorous, if you would ask me. I've only been there a handful of times myself, and every time I go, I can't wait to leave.
Is it a fairly direct route to get there, or is it pretty rough?
Yeah, direct enough. If you continue on east through the city here, you'll travel for a couple 10 days, and you'll reach the
The
city.
front of my tongue's already burning.
So do you know how the defenses are? Like, I mean, is the city ready for war if it were to arrive?
Ardell?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not really one that's too adept at such things. But hey, you know what? This has been some lovely conversation. Why don't you try this wine on us?
Oh.
Shut up and
Just
drink.
a little. Hey, can't give it all to you. Just, enough to know that we're trustworthy men, that perhaps you can participate with our half-burnt, I apologize,
Oh, it still looks a lot better than what I've been eating lately. So.
perfect. All right.
Thank you.
He looks at the other guy. Cut a piece. Would your fellow here like a piece as well? And some wine.
Yes, he would.
All right. So the guy in the back with the one arm, kind of looks at it and gives the guy a look of how he's supposed to rotate this thing and trim off of it. But the guy just shrugs and stares back and forth at you. You can see his expression. And the guy in the back just kind of rotates and hack, rotate, hack, rotate, hack, and then it falls onto a plate he's got on the table beside it. And sure enough, 2 generous helpings of meat are given on the plate, and 2 small glasses of wine are put out in front of you. And at this point, we'll hold for you guys for a sec. Maple and Pythagoras, what would you like to do after leaving the tavern?
We're gonna head down.
They did let you know that they were going, if you're going to meet up with them or,
Yeah.
or whatever you'd like to.
Yeah, we're gonna go meet up with them at the market.
Okay. In that case, at this point, you'll actually, you're wandering down the main road. This stall is right there, so you'll actually see Central Mangar, with their cart hanging out in front of this vendor, and they look like they're getting 2 helpings of very good meat and some kind of alcoholic beverage in a glass, versus the haunch of whatever that you just finished eating. It looks.
I'm gonna march up to Albagar and I'm gonna look at him like, oh, that looks good. And I'm just gonna reach in front of him and grab a small piece of meat and toss it to the dog. Toss it over to Chief. Thanks, and then I'm just gonna turn around and hop in the cart.
Your dog eats it, looks very pleased about it. The guy behind the booth is kind of that's not
You guys
too hard.
running?
Yeah, he says, I agree with that. Would I'm giving your fellows here a small taste of a very old and aged wine, very fine wine. Would you like some as well? Just a sample. I can't give you a whole glass, but just a little bit to try. And if you like it, then perhaps you can buy some. The meat, however, you have to pay.
Free? Yeah.
Oh yeah, free.
Yeah.
Yeah, free.
Yeah, I get back over to the cart. I just start heading over now. My attention spot.
Okay.
Before I drink, I want to do a deception check.
I was gonna do that too.
I was just thinking, this free wine, man. It's gonna
I
cost
got
you.
18.
All right. You can go ahead and roll those for 5.
1.
All right.
Give me 5.
Well,
Give me 5. You got 1. I got 1.
Timaeus, is there a specific type of, like, are you just straight up just want to know if he's lying, or are you trying to see a little bit further into that to discover something? Like, is there any specific information you're trying to reveal with this man?
That the substance he's providing me is indeed an aged wine.
Sure. Okay.
I'll be able to tell you in a moment.
So he is certainly lying to you about something. It looks like wine, and he's presenting it as wine, but what's letting you on to this is he seems nervous. That's the biggest thing. It's not like he's like, yes, I'm going to give you this wine and charge you for it or something. It's more so like a, okay, go on, drink the wine. Sweat.
I'm gonna say it'd be awfully rude if I had a drink and you didn't share one with us. Why don't you pour yourself a glass and I'll pay for it?
He looks behind him, and the guy at the rotisserie goes, and he looks back and says, you know, that is a very kind gesture. Why doesn't my fellow here be the one that you purchased the wine for? He has not had wine since he started working for me, and I treat him so poorly some days.
When did you hire?
Not too long.
I'll say it looks fairly like maybe fairly new to the job.
Did you hear that?
No.
You look new to
No,
the job. You need
No
to look
offense.
like you've been a seasoned professional.
Where did he pour it from?
It's a cask in the back of their little tent thing.
Okay, like who else is around right now?
There's several other people looking at the booth as well. One thing again you'll notice though with your kind of perception check, he hasn't been paying attention to anyone else but you guys. Like people have come up, probably willing to buy, and he's just like blinders on.
I'll hand my glass to the one-armed man
Okay.
and let him sip.
Okay.
Because I know he's gonna burn the rotisserie while he does it, so whatever.
He's got the one hand. The guy in front just he like trudges back to go turn the rotisserie, and this guy to everyone but Pie. Sorry. Now like just obviously looks nervous and is like glancing back at the other guy, and the other guy gives him these wide eyes and he says, "Well, cheers."
I'm
He just holds
clearly
up the glass.
I'm clearly drunk at this point, right?
Oh yeah, that must be why you got a one.
Yeah.
On your check.
So, I guess what I would like to do is just kind of look at it and be like, about to drink it, but I'm gonna throw up into the glass and then just be like, oh, and then just accidentally kind of throw it into his face.
So with the puke and everything.
Yeah.
Is anyone else gonna cheers this guy and drink with him?
No.
I'm a little skeptical about it.
Excuse me.
You guys like, he dumps out his wine too, maybe a little bit too obviously dumps it, and goes, I have to go clean myself. This is insane and tarry, and kind of walks away.
Terry.
And the guy at the rotisserie just goes, "Very sorry about that. Why don't you come back later, and we'll get you some real food. I don't think you want anything that's cut over there. And don't worry about paying."
Oh my.
This is just where we back away slowly. This is weird. Even for me, I'm a barbarian, and I'm like, no.
Is there any kind of like dead space where there's no one around?
Yep. Yeah, there's a couple of areas.
I'm gonna throw a flask of oil at the man that's by the fire, roasting the thing.
Yes, sniff the wine and be like, and put it back on the counter.
All right. So I'm not saying that the empty spot is right beside this stall. You know that, right?
Yep, that's fine.
All right. So
Before he
flask of
does that.
oil.
Before he does that. After I puke, do all that. I'm gonna stumble back to the cart, but on the way I'd like to throw up into the fire that is cooking the rotisserie, and then stumble off to the cart. So it'd be like I throw up, and then that oil comes in.
Oh my god. Alright, so you vomit some more. The guy looks disgusted. The flask of oil was whipping at his head after. Give me just a quick
Watch the wine just makes you pay like double the price. All that to save that silver.
15. Just a dex check, you said? 15.
Alright, so it shatters on him, and oil sprays everywhere into the fire, onto him. I mean, he's standing right beside the thing, he catches on fire, it spreads quickly. The guy starts screaming in panic. He runs to the booth beside him, he grabs some of the cloth, that cloth lights on fire, people are screaming, they are in chaos, somebody else is on fire at this point, and that's only the first 10 seconds.
Is there water around anywhere? Or like
There's a fountain.
trap?
There's a fountain in the center of this area.
Oh yeah, in the center.
And everyone has just turned and is now staring. And while everybody near the fire is spreading out, and there's still this guy just.
Is there a? I'm just gonna grab anything I can see, like a bucket anywhere that I can see,
Yeah, sure.
and I'm just. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a couple and just turn.
I'll
Just to put out-
hand you the big cask of the ale. And just say use this. It'll work. Just knock off the top and just douse them with it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Which ale?
The wine?
No.
The one in the back.
Wine? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, or yeah. I'll grab the wine, or like, basically in that situation, anything liquid that's, obviously not oil or anything. I'm gonna grab and start pouring, not necessarily on him, but just trying to put fires out, like, kind of like.
Using the wine, like using the wine to help all this.
I'll jokingly retract that and say, no, don't. And then I'll just take it to the cart.
Barbarian Almagar's just like, alright. Okay.
Basically, what I'm thinking is I want to make it look like I'm trying to help the guy, like, I see fire, I'm going to do what I can to put out.
That's fair. Well, if you
And it's already too late for this guy, so by the time I go with the water, I'll just help put out the booths and stuff so it's not spreading. And
Alright, so you start dumping water on the booth. Some other brave souls come and assist with this.
Once the fire starts happening, I'm just gonna go take the horses and carriage and just kind of drive away from all of that so it doesn't get caught on fire.
there we go. I'm going to say, form a line for anyone.
Not
who's-
that I'm doing a good job at it, depending on how much I've had to drink. Just move away from the fire.
Alright. Okay, so you move away from the fire. Almagar, you're trying to help put things out.
Just sort
the
of
guy-
and everything, right?
The guy has now fallen to his knees, and it's just like a charred corpse falling face first on the ground. And with that, several guards approach, and they kind of block off the cart, and several approach from within other stalls, and they go, "What is the meaning of this?" And some woman yells, "He burnt him alive!" She points at Antimaeus. And they're kind of looking around. Other people are trying to help get the fire under control, but these guys all have these shields and these spears, and they're all pointing them at you. And essentially say, "Is this true?" And they're looking at you.
I point to the one-armed man and I say he's getting away.
Okay. Give me a deception if you have it, and if not, charisma.
Then
And the woman's like, no! Help! And they just don't seem to really pay much attention to her. Yeah, and they rush off to go catch the one-armed man.
Never trust one arm man.
So,
I take it the fires are pretty much under control.
Yeah, after a few moments, the fires are under control. Only, 3 booths were almost burned to the ground.
Did the guards all leave?
There's still a few in the market area, but the ones that were directly in front of you guys hassling you are all gone, yes.
I'm gonna briefly take a scan of the guy's booth area to see if there's anything worth grabbing besides the wine.
No. Not anymore.
Okay.
Anything that was of value was probably cloths and that sort of thing, which, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Alright. Eventful morning.
Yeah, I'll head back to the cart and or over to the cart.
Alright, so, yeah.
I'm gonna walk by the lady as I'm leaving.
Okay.
I'm just like, give her a death stare.
Okay.
It's that
She's
Luigi's
like,
stare,
yelling
man.
at you until you look at her. She's like,
Luigi death stare.
I know it was you! May the
Yeah,
gods
Mario Kart?
strike you down!
The new one?
You will never,
Oh,
never
God,
be
no,
safe!
he's got
And then you give her
death
that glare
stare.
and she's just like,
Yeah, I'll show her like another vial of oil on my belt, and then I'll just walk away.
she just shuts up and backs up. Walk away. Alright. Okay, so you guys are at the cart.
I didn't get to eat anything, did I? Now I'm getting grumpy. I'm still hungry. That rotisserie was looking good. Now it's burnt. So,
Yeah, like,
I'm going to look and see if I can find other food stands somewhere.
oh yeah, there's other food stuff.
And
Yeah.
So that escalated quickly, but yeah, I'm gonna go find some food.
I need to
I'll
find
just
some
go through.
daggers.
What's that?
So I, as you're saying, I need to go find some food. I said I need to go find some daggers.
Okay. So you grab some food from a nearby stall. It only sets you back a silver piece. And, I mean, it's not great, but it's okay. And, yeah. So you guys are going to try and find a blacksmith now, or an armor, or
Yeah,
somebody working with metal.
please.
Alright, there doesn't appear to be anyone in the trade area that that does this, but Antimaeus, you'd have knowledge of where the blacksmiths would likely reside if you so wish to take them there.
As long as it's not, yeah, that's fine.
Alright, so you all follow Antimaeus' lead, and he takes you to the nearest blacksmith. And the blacksmith greets you casually. It seems like it's only him. He doesn't have any help, so he continues to work away as he's speaking to you. And essentially asks, what can I do for you?
I need a good couple hunting knives.
Hunting knives? What kind of game are you hunting? You need something large, or you need something small?
Squirrels!
So,
Both? Alright, yeah. So he kind of quenches whatever he's working on for the moment, and then he walks over to this leather roll, and he plops it down on the booth kind of counter that he has, and he unrolls it, and he slides it along until he finds like 3 knives that he seems to like. And he pulls the 3 of them out and pops them down and goes, well, if it's everything in between, there's a small, a medium, and a large one. I made them all together. They're fairly fine make. I mean, they would do for any animal. Whether that be skinning or whether that be, close quarter killing, I don't judge.
what metal are they made of?
It's just steel. Nothing too special. I mean, they're finely made, but I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of quality you're looking for. They're certainly not my best work. I suppose it depends on what kind of coin you're willing to part with. If you'd like to see
How much are these right now?
For the 3 of them, you'd be looking at 6 gold pieces. Total for all.
For all 3, if they were to get a silver coating, would you be able to apply that?
I could do that, but you'd have to supply the silver. I unfortunately.
How much silver would that run me for?
To melt it down, do a coating. I don't know. I would probably require maybe half an ingot's worth. You're probably talking a couple hundred to probably maybe 100 to 200 gold pieces of silver. It's not nothing expensive.
Okay, well, I'll buy these knives here from you for now.
All right. If you don't mind me asking, are they? You say they're for hunting, but we're looking to have them silver coated. I'm assuming they're going to be ornate. It's none of my business really, but I'm just curious. Hey, you know what? No, I shouldn't even asked. I apologize.
It's a present. And I just kind of give, like, the most devious kind of smile a barbarian could give, but like, yeah, I'm giving someone some knives as a present.
Alright, fair. Okay, well, 6 gold pieces and they're yours. And they've been sitting in here a while. I made them over a year ago, so I can just give them a quick oil and sharpen for you if you'd like. Not that they probably need it, but, courtesy and the like.
That'd be great. I appreciate that.
Okay, so he takes the 3, and I'm assuming you pass the coin over, no problem. He takes the coin. He takes it just to the back of his little blacksmithing area here. Has some kind of a wooden handled kind of bunched up cloth, and he soaks it in some sort of oily substance, pats them down, and just shaves them on a stone very quickly. The guy's obviously experienced, and does that with all 3. It only takes him 15 minutes, and then he puts them back in front of you and says, well, they're all yours. May they serve you well, or act as a good gift, or whatever you want.
Thank you.
Alright, well, if that's everything then,
Actually, I'm gonna see him getting if he has a whetstone or something. To actually use chirping.
Yeah, certainly.
We have one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's in group loot.
Oh,
perfect. I can sell you an extra one if you'd like, though. It's never a bad thing to have multiple.
I was gonna say I probably want something
We
nice
have
and small.
10.
What's that?
We have 10.
You don't actually have 10, do you?
Alright. I take it that's a no on the whetstone then. That's fine.
I guess not. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else I can do for you? Just, drop on by. And with that, he walks back over to the item that he had quenched, and he draws it back out of the tube full of water that he had, and he throws it back into the forge and starts letting it cook again.
Need to go mining.
Alright.
You know how to mine. You're like the smartest barbarian ever.
I was gonna say, beats paying for it.
How hard can it be? You take a pick thing and you hit it against a stone thing and metal comes out, right? So one thing I will describe for you is as you were walking down, I wouldn't describe this as a side street, but it's certainly not the main one. And this is kind of a little bit more of like industrial area is a bad term, but I'll use it anyways. So you got like a blacksmith here, and you got like a tanner, and I guess it's like the trades area more so than like a merchant. These guys actually making and crafting things, and this area is all set up with bright, vibrant colors as well. Even the blacksmith looks like he has some sort of, like he has an apron on over top of it, but he's wearing like a nice bright orange shirt underneath. So the whole town is really, or the whole city is really prepping for this
How's the
festival,
med kits?
I think. Seems
Did
like
you pick
everybody,
anything up close?
no one is not participating.
I'd like to find someone who's fairly friendly looking and ask them about this festival that they're celebrating. Because I don't know Antimaeus is from here, do I?
I
That's
don't
not
think so.
common
No,
knowledge.
I don't think he would. I mean, he seems to be able to guide you guys places, but yeah, I don't know if he's announced it yet.
Oh, right. So, like I said, I'll see if I can just find someone who
Is
looks
there?
extra
Well,
festive
while
or-
he's looking around, is there anyone that's selling like any dry herbs or spices or anything?
There were some back in the market area. Yeah, if you'd like to go back there.
Yeah, sure. I don't
Alright,
really.
Earl,
I don't.
what
I
do
don't
you
care about town history.
Are all four of you going to head back there as well? And you'll just find somebody along the way there, Scott, or do you want to try and seek some?
Oh yeah, if we're heading back, yeah, I'm just curious, yeah, why everyone's so dressed up. But
Antimaeus, you're heading over that direction as well.
You said it's nearing on winter, right? It's fall, or is it still?
Yeah, it's fall. Yeah.
I will. Where? Maybe you're going to get some herbs, and then what's the plan?
Well, depending on what time of day it is, I figured we should figure out a game plan and then find either if we're going to be setting up camp or get a tavern to sleep at. And because
we
it's
just arrived in a town having a party, so I think we should have a party.
well, I mean that's why I'm thinking we should try and find
Yeah.
a place to stay as soon as possible because I don't think there's going to be much available come nighttime.
When Ardell do as the Ardellians do.
I mean, or we can head out of town and go set up a camp outside. I don't think either way, being in town, out of town, these walls are going to make much of a difference. But it might be nice.
I say
to-
might as well stay in a.
it
I
might
wouldn't
be
mind it.
nice to actually get to sleep on a bed. I wouldn't mind.
I will follow the group from a distance then, and then
Yep.
just have my cloak over everything.
Okay. So you guys head back to the market for some herbs.
And I will thank Antimaeus for showing me where to get the daggers.
As you approach the fruit stall, there seems to be quite a few people that are like setting up special things around the fountain there, Almagar, that probably wouldn't be bad people to talk to you about it. I mean, they seem to be setting up the decorations that are just like in the town and square area
Okay.
anyways. So yeah, maybe one of that would be good to talk to.
Sure. From,
Yeah, so you approach them. There's a few men, a few women.
okay. I'll just say, greetings. I'm new to town, and I see that you guys look like you're preparing for some festivities, and I was just curious what you're celebrating.
Well, welcome. This is, I guess, what you could call our fall festival. There are several names that we have for it locally, but yeah, this is essentially to celebrate the near ending of fall and the coming of winter. Originated as the day when most crops would have been harvested and a day of rest for most farmers. Whether that's true anymore is questionable, but we keep the tradition alive nonetheless.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Are there any traditions or expectations at this? I assume I'm in town. I might as well partake.
Yeah, well, it depends, I guess, on how you enjoy it. Everyone does it differently, but tonight the market area will be open with song and dance, as well as some food vendors will be open as well, I would imagine. But if you fancy taverns a little bit more, several of those will probably have their own entertainment on as well. And then at the right as the moon kind of hits the center of the sky, we do a release of flying candles.
Interesting. Oh, thank you. I will definitely have to join in on the festivities tonight.
All right. Well,
no one's gonna be as smart as me. Candles can't fly!
Yeah, I was just like, whatever.
everybody just takes a lit candle, throws it in the air. Yay!
And the market's on fire again.
Yeah.
I'm helping.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you guys hit the herb vendor. Anything in particular you're looking for?
More or less healing herbs, stuff for salves, and maybe even a few cooking herbs, simple, like, rosemary, thyme, common stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you're met by a thin man who has probably seen days with more food in his past. And he goes, "Oh, hello, yes. What was that? Right. And he pulls out this little box and he goes, for healing salves, these would probably do nicely. And he dumps a few little leaves and spriggets into his little leather pouch. And then he does the same for some cooking herbs. And over, and he says, that will be 2 silver pieces, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right. He grabs the money and.
Well, I think I'm
somewhere
set, guys, unless there's anything you think we should pick up in the meantime. Maybe we should go find ourselves somewhere to stay for the night, and then we can
That sounds like a good idea.
make a game plan. Should we take this out of, or stay for the hotel out of group loot? Is that cool, or are we deciding different places to stay, or what's the plan?
As far as I'm concerned, I'd say I'll use the group loot and kind of stay in the same, I don't know. Yeah.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, no, let's stay in a tavern with group loot.
Okay.
Yep. Anything in particular you're looking for in a tavern?
Somewhere
Or
where we
just
can
any
park
old
the
town.
cart.
Park the cart. Okay, so free parking.
Secure parking.
Yeah,
24 hours a day.
exactly.
Secure underground parking. All right, you approach a couple taverns, and a few look suitable, but the problem is that when you go in and ask for a room, there are none available.
The room's at the inn. You're stuck in a manger.
Go sleep with the horses, Scott. But you eventually make your way to another tavern called the Lion's Crown, and it does have room for you, and it looks like a fairly fine place. And yes, they can certainly stable your horses for a nominal fee of 1 gold piece a night. And they'll brush them and feed them and care for them oh so tenderly.
Really better at 1 gold.
Is how the innkeep describes it.
As long as they don't turn into demons. 2 heads.
You don't have goats in there, do you? I don't want my horses in with
They're
the
never
goats.
goats.
He looks to you, Almagar, and goes, I see your friends have hit the festivities early. Perhaps I'll talk money with you.
They got an early start. Yeah.
Yes. So it will be,
We all look
well,
clearly
I suppose,
sober.
is it separate rooms for the 3 of you, or is it all one? I don't judge.
Depends on cost. No?
Well,
separate rooms if possible.
separate rooms? Okay, yes, well, I could do that. So it will be 1 gold piece a night total for the horses, and then for each of the rooms, you'd be looking at 5 silver pieces a night, please.
And how much for 1 room with 4 beds?
4 beds. Sorry. 4 beds. Let me see what I have available here. Oddly,
So I just interject. I'm like, I don't know about this money thing. I don't know
A
how it
large
works,
number of
but that sounded like
rooms.
too much.
Staying in town this year. Yes, I have 2 available. I'm assuming that if you're on this, would you like large beds or small beds? One people per bed or 2 people per bed?
One people per bed?
Okay. All right. Sorry. Sometimes the festivities require more.
God, I did get that right,
would-
right?
It would cost you a gold and 2
For
silver.
yourself, Maple.
A gold and 2 silver per night for a room of 4 beds.
Done. Think that's better? Saves us a lot of money. We
All
don't.
right.
As well, yeah.
So a
Without
total
silver.
of 2 gold and 2 silver a night for everything. And I can assure you that we have one of the finest tellers coming tonight to tell some of the stories that are traditional in our land at this time of year. Anyways,
I've never seen a
I will have
story
them prepared
before.
for you. It should be done momentarily. And yes, in the meantime, feel free to enjoy our time. Are your horses just out front?
Yes.
Okay. He looks to the back, yells at somebody, and they run forward and just kind of give you all a bow, and then runs out to the cart, and he jumps on the cart. Antimaus, are you still outside right now? You gonna freak him out?
Yeah, totally.
He was.
So you see this
Yeah.
kid jump on the cart.
I jump beside him from the back of the cart.
With the dogs.
Okay. He lets out a oh, sorry, master. Is this your cart? I'm just taking it around to the stable.
I'll just like silently stare forward.
It's like, just sits up like, yes, that's right, you are.
Right, he just starts moving the horses and brings them around to the stable. Still looking at you, unhinges them from the cart and takes them one by one into the stable and, unburdens them.
I'll show him my dirty boot.
Very nice boots, sir.
And then I'll show him the dirty rag.
Sir, I apologize. I don't know what services that my master lets you on that I would provide, but I do clean boots.
I throw him a copper.
I will clean boots. He picks up the copper and he starts scrubbing away at your boots. All right. So the room is prepared shortly, and he lets you know it is upstairs, and he identifies which room it is, and he provides you with a single key, and just kind of hands it out. Just taking it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Oh. You both reach for it.
Who's faster?
Two barbarians
Who's
and berserker
faster?
each and all.
What's your dex, Scott?
Yeah, what's your dex, Scott?
16.
Oh my
Oh.
god. Alright, well, you both grab at the same time. Each of you is gripping a different side of it.
How can you tell we're related?
Take the key, guys.
Oh, I'll kind of push it over like towards her, like okay, yeah, like.
Alright.
Well, you just lose it anyway.
But if I can't find you,
Alright, so what do you wish to do at this point? Your boots are clean there, Mass.
I'll ask the boy his name.
Peg.
I will laugh.
Peg.
I will laugh slightly and ask how the master of the house is. Is he a decent fellow?
Yes, he pays me well enough and treats me well enough as well.
And how much is well enough these days?
Oh.
You're already looking to
I
pick
don't-
up another.
I don't want much. I mean, any more than any other sort of boy would be. But he does promise me that perhaps one day I'll have a promotion in the inn and maybe even become a bartender.
How old is this kid, judging by the look of him?
Probably like 12, maybe 13.
So like fairly young.
Yeah,
I'll hand him an extra copper
Okay. Oh, wow, you are mighty generous. Thank you.
and tell him to keep an eye out. I may need his services once more, and there's more copper where that came from.
To clean your boots? Your boots are pretty
No.
clean, sir.
Other things of more importance.
Sir, I don't...
The realm is in peril, you fool pig. Do I have to spell it out for you?
Hey, goes, the realms of... Sir, I
Keep
had
your
no
head
idea.
up.
Could you give me a charisma check, please?
Sure.
What am I good at those?
One. Oh.
Peg's like, sir, the realm's fine. I'll be around if you need me, but I can't guarantee that I'll be up to any unscrupulous dealings.
Okay, and as I jump down, I'm gonna try to sleight of hand steal the copper back.
Okay.
So I got 20.
Yeah, Peg's dumb. Take it. No problem. She's got in his hand. Just
So I let him have one, but I still
yeah,
won.
yeah. But the one that you just gave him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll go find the group where my bed is.
Okay. All right. So Antimaeus walks into the main kind of chamber of the inn there, and at this point, again, you guys have the key. So would you like to go check out your rooms, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'd like to go up to the room.
All right.
I was gonna do the same thing, just settle in and.
Okay. So you all head up to the room. You go with the number you described. The key turns, unlocks the door, and inside you find a nice little room, with single beds and four single beds, and heavy blankets on each, and a window going out to the back alley, and a little washing basin and that sort of thing. It's not a bad little room, and in the back corner there's actually a nice hearth as well, which is currently burning, so it's nice and toasty warm in this room.
So this window, are we on the first floor or second floor?
You're on the second. Yeah. It's not too tall a building. There might be one above you, but that's about it.
Right. So if I have to jump out the window, I can.
Yes.
So I'll go in, I'll just take a look at the window, kind of get my bearings.
Sure. Yeah. It looks like it is openable, and so you can let a breeze if you so wish. And while it would probably have to be taken off its hinges for a person to go through it, so it only kind of partially opens, you could definitely make it to the ground if you need to jump.
Okay.
With minimal injury.
So I'm just going to ask, since now that we're in the room here, and gonna ask Antimaeus, what happened at that the market back? I like I said, I went for some wine, and all this next thing you know, there's
All
a
of a
guy on
sudden,
fire
there's
and-
fire, and what was that all about?
It's a festival. Have you not been here before?
No, never, not once.
You've been here before?
You'll love it. Just wait until tonight.
This is the purge, isn't it? We've walked into the purge. The one day of the year.
I'll kind of cut it short, and then I'm gonna run back to the cart. I'm gonna grab some of the wine in a mug, and then I'm gonna find Peg and give him a peace offering.
Okay. All right.
And I say
Sure.
wine because I don't know what it is.
Your knife isn't called peace offering or anything else, but
No.
excellent or whatever. Okay.
Mercy. Some mercy.
Okay. Okay, so you head down to give Peg a peace offering of wine. How kind, Jordan. Wine from the cask, I'm assuming, that you
Yes,
took from
yes.
the gentleman.
Of course.
Okay.
I'm gonna smell it first.
Oh,
Does
okay.
it smell like alcohol?
Yeah, it smells like alcohol. It smells like wine. Not great
Okay.
wine, but it smells like wine.
I'm very confused of why this wine is so, if it's just lying and it's just cheap wine, or if it's, poison, so...
You're wondering whether his death was in vain or whether it was...
You know,
Well, yeah, because
I
you
just-
know, because
I'm
you
dealing
notice.
with a lot right now, and
See,
so
here's the barbarian. We need to talk about it.
Jordan's just like, all these, or Antimaeus just like, I just feel like I have all these past lives where I've just killed party member after party member. And I don't know if I can deal with it anymore.
If I can understand.
Oh man. Yeah. So yes, you can definitely head down. So Antimaeus pours a glass of wine from the cask. Oh no, wait. Is the cask still out in the cart, or did you bring it in with you?
no, I went and grabbed it from the. I'll bring it in, and
Okay.
so that he can see me pour it.
Ah, I see. Okay, so you're gonna go find him and pour it. Okay. What would you guys like to do while he goes down to do this?
Well, I'm gonna look at Maple and I think it's gonna be like, do you guys know what happened back there at the market? Like
No, not a clue.
why we tried to burn it down?
Not a clue. Normally,
Okay.
I believe.
I'm
in-
glad I'm not the only one. I was a little confused.
Usually,
there.
burning things is one of my first resorts, but that one I got nothing.
There was a fire?
As I'm talking to them, I'm gonna head over to the water basin and just kind of do like a quick scrub, because, well, it's been like weeks now since we've been in the woods, so I'm taking advantage of that. Yeah.
And by the way, that Maple and Pythagoras are acting on the same thing. I'd be like, wow, I've got some catching up to do.
All you're trying to do is get something to drink and eat, and that just, nope. I'm sure they have something downstairs.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, what of our plans? Are we going to be spending some time in this city, or are we going to be looking for work here, or are we moving on? There was that guy we're supposed to go and try and find.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
I mean,
figure-
that's if we want. I guess if we're going to be going after more of those creepy ass vampires. Or at least that's what
Yeah.
we think he was. I don't know. I didn't like him. I stabbed my dog. Okay? He was not a good man.
Was that the same guy? Honestly, I'm not too sure. I just saw there was a party. I was like, woohoo, let's have fun tonight after our travels. And then tomorrow we can... we can worry about that tomorrow. Unless, obviously, you've got better ideas, but...
So tonight it's time with the tavern, and tomorrow it's more serious matters, perhaps. Is that what we're thinking?
I don't care. And I just leave and go downstairs. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, Pythagoras heads down. Are the two of you going to go down as well?
I'll tell Stodicus, I'll keep the key on me. I want to get cleaned up a little bit more, so I'll meet you guys down there. Kind of with the hints of like, now get out of the room.
On that note, I was going to see if I was going to basically try to make it look like I'm not wearing a whole bunch of, weapons and stuff.
Okay. So you
I don't know if I could.
a little bit.
Barbarian is this guy? He's so used to being an elf.
I know, right? It's been
Like,
6 months.
any barbarian would be like, I need more weapons on me. I can carry more.
I love it. He's not cliche. He's just like the gentle giant. I've never seen something like that.
You're Andre, yeah, you're Andre the Giant.
Because anytime there's a foe, I'm in some berserker rage. I need to balance myself.
It's called yin and yang, guys. Okay.
My chakras have to be realigned every so often.
Barbarian
I'm a
ninja.
nice
right
guy
here.
all the rest of the time, so I can be a total fucking dick in battle. That's fair. And I will say that as many weapons you guys are carrying so far, no one's really seemed to make much of an issue about it.
Good.
Whereas the small town of Umbermill was like, frick are these guys doing? But yeah, this city. Okay, cool. All right, so you head down as well. Then there.
Yeah, I'll head down.
And Maple, you get finished getting cleaned up, and then once you're done, are you heading down as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Antimaeus. So you carry a little cast
And
down.
I lock the door behind me.
Okay, so you carry the cast down. There's Peg, and he's like out back, like cleaning the stables. And he looks at you and goes, "What can I do for you? I already told you I'm not getting any weird stuff."
You didn't tell me that, Peg.
Sure I did. No unscrupulous business. That's what Pa always says.
Is your paw a learned man? That's a fairly big word.
I don't know what it means. I don't think he knows what it means. But
Can
it's
you
a
read
saying
letters?
to live by. Oh yeah, he can read letters. Pa can read letters.
You can't, Peg? That's sad.
I'm young still, okay?
Well, Peg, I brought you a peace offering, and I know you're young, but I think it's time that you partake a little bit. It is a festival, and I do have this whole keg, and my friends are kind of retarded right now, so I need to mellow, Peg. I need to mellow with someone of a young age that's innocent and
So far.
not in a homosexual way.
That's a pretty big word.
In a completely plutonic way, Peg, I would like to drink with you and take our clothes off.
I will pour him a mug that I took out of the whatever those travelers get thing.
Okay.
It's getting hotter.
All right, so you pour him a mug,
I'm thinking if
and he looks at it and
he
he gives
shows
it a
up, at least I
sniff.
got something.
Oh, it smells like swill.
Meg, I'm really trying here. This relationship won't build itself.
Well, you're at least gonna have some too?
Yes, but I only have one cup. Just have to drink first.
Well, I feel bad drinking your wine first as he holds it back out to you.
Meg, I'm really not happy with you right now. I will try to
Just drink the bloody
What?
intimidate. So that's a natural 20.
Oh my god.
So drink
Okay.
the pink wine. Hey.
Okay, alright, fine. And he drinks it back, pretty proficiently, oddly enough. He goes, tastes better than it smelled. Hands it back to you.
Perfect. I walk away.
Hey, where are you going?
Hey, get back to work. Those horses.
You're
the
just trying to
stalls
get me
are in the canal.
Oh,
What's happening?
You look back, and Peg's on the ground.
Someone call a doctor.
doctor!
Does anyone respond?
No.
Perfect.
Why?
I hide somewhere and observe Peg.
Peg twitches for a few minutes, and then slowly foam starts to rise from his mouth, and his eyes bulge.
Her company
I'm so
position.
glad I'm not there right now.
Peg dies.
This wine could come in handy.
Yeah.
How much? Yeah, don't waste too much of it.
I put the wine back in the cart and wipe out my glass. That is actually Maple's glass, and then I put it back in the cart too.
I'm gonna die.
Right.
I wipe it out good.
Look at spit shine.
All right.
I go back and go into the tavern area.
Okay, so you're all in the tavern area then. Antimaeus makes his way down, or out in there, and Maple makes her way down shortly after. And you're all hanging out at a table.
I go sit at the bar again.
Okay, alright, cool. So you hang out at the bar. This place is pretty lively, full of people. Music has already started. No one's telling stories yet, but the music's loud. It's like shoulder to shoulder, and not shoulder to shoulder, but like most of the tables are taken up. There's only one or two that aren't. Yeah, tons of people standing, people singing, music, the whole works. A friendly, fairly young man behind the bar says, hello, master. What can I grab for you?
I don't know. Do you have a sign or something?
No. I can tell you what we have. We have an assortment of ales and an assortment of wines, depending on what you...
What's cheap?
Sir, by the way your language is so elegantly leaving your frontal hole, I would imagine that I have a perfect ale for you. And
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
Water? Give him some water.
As I come down, I'm gonna see him arguing with this bartender. I'm just gonna walk in and be like, we don't want any of that shit. Give us something good.
Wait, this guy's saying I got a hole.
And I'm just gonna be like, back to the table. We're gonna calm down tonight and celebrate her passing. We're at least gonna celebrate it in style.
Okay, so none of this, and he like literally dumps on the ground.
I'll head over to them while this is happening.
We need
Just kind of stand behind them.
some good mead.
Mead? Oh yeah. Yes, I have a special Western brew of mead from all the way from the coast. It is quite lovely. And he pours out or it doesn't pour out, sorry, he pulls out this bottle and he pulls a cork out of it and he sniffs it and he waves it out to you. You can smell honey and flowers and all this wonderful stuff coming from this mead.
I'll just look like I'm ready to start crying and be like, yeah, that's the one. Over at the table, and I'll just kind of give him some money for whatever it is, and I'm just gonna head over to the table. I don't even care. I'm just gonna put down yeah.
All right, that'll be 15 gold pieces, please.
Hold on a sec.
Just grab something. Don't let that faggot tell you what to do. He's a little queer.
I'll split that bottle.
You're a little queer, you swindler. Swindler.
You'll split it? Okay.
No, sir. This is some of the finest mead from the West.
No, you shut your hole. Your hole.
You'll split it, Scoticus?
You're splitting it.
Are you sure that's the best price you can give us?
He weighs it around and
Because we'll be drinking more. This isn't all we're drinking tonight.
I'll tell you what.
We're staying here. Room something
You know
or other
what?
upstairs.
It's the fall festival, and I'm feeling like a kind man.
We're celebrating the loss of a young girl tonight. Persuasion? That's my persuasion.
All right, 12 gold pieces, 6 apiece, evenly split between friends.
Where was this bottle? Is he holding it or is it on the bar?
Yeah, he's got it in his hand.
That does look like pretty good. I have to say.
All right, so you guys
There.
are paying the 6 each.
Yeah.
All right, he passes the bottle, and he brings out a few mugs and says, "Here you go. Enjoy. I promise you will."
I'll just grab my mug and my empty mug and get back to the table.
He points at you, Pi.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "You, my friend, are a fine, discerning fellow. I hope to see you more tonight."
I get real sick of your lip, pal. You're
And with that, I'll pour you like a quarter of a glass, and I'll pass you that. And I'm just gonna take out my glass and another glass in the bottle and head over to the table. I'm just gonna leave him at the bar, but I'm just giving him a tiny bit of the drink.
Okay. All right. So you're all right. So the rest of you then are heading back to said table. Esmaeus, are you hanging out in the tavern with them as well, or what would you like to do?
Oh, well, I'm gonna pass him a drink anyway as I get to the table. So.
All right.
Here.
Oh, this is a big bottle.
But
Yeah, it's large.
it's to celebrate the passing of Beth.
To our shovel meeting.
And I'm gonna actually say it, I'm officially broke after this, guys. So we need to find some work or something, because, yeah, I need some monies. But we'll worry about that later. Tonight, just drink.
All right.
I'm gonna sit off somewhere else with my cloak over and with my new clean boots and just observe the party from a distance.
Okay.
With your glass of this good ale, right? Yes.
Or for me, and I'm gonna push my...
What? Do I have to do a hide with a stealth? I'll do a stealth to see if I can come in unnoticed.
Alright, fine, well, Elvgar and myself then will drink that mead.
Yeah, drink to Beth.
And
I got a 13 stealth.
13.
Yeah.
All right. The only one that notices is Maple.
Don't notice is this old...
Because I've been trying to give you this alcohol here, and you're like, no, leave me alone. I'm trying to hide.
Try to blend in.
Some of us are here to work.
If that's the case, I'll take it and I'll leave the room.
I'll stop bugging him once he takes it. That's, yeah. Once again, you only get like a little bit in your cup. I totally chinsed out on yours too. It was expensive.
So the three of you then are at the table, or just the two of you?
I think it's just the two of us unless you join us.
Or you're still at the bar, right?
Yeah, I'm still at the bar. I'm gonna try and steal someone's pouch that I'm sitting beside.
All right. Give me a
So you
sleight
take
of hand
the-
if you have it. If you don't, Dex.
Sleight of hand minus the alcohol. Smack someone across the face and like...
14.
Alright. Yeah, it's, oddly enough, you manage to just, like, you stumble forward and grab onto the pouch, and it makes it more so look like you're just grabbing on the guy for support, and you just yank it right off his belt. He turns around and goes, "Hey, watch what you're doing," but then doesn't really seem to notice past that much, and keeps going.
Okay. I'm gonna check the pouch as I walk away.
Alright. It has a lovely 4 copper pieces in it.
Huh. I'm gonna go over to Maple and throw her the bag and go, this should cover that. Thank you.
I'll open it up and count the coins and just kind of like, thanks. And I'll add them to the group loot. Because
Sorry, worth writing it down.
Alright, so you guys are hanging out here for a bit then, right?
yeah.
So you spend some time in the tavern, and different songs are sang, most in common, some in a different language occasionally, and you have a few people who dance, and a few people who even offer to dance with you if you so wish, until they see your weapon. Fine. And then eventually, you know, the sun has set outside, it gets quite dark really early here, and what everyone is talking or calling a teller approaches kind of this little elevated stage in the tavern, and it all goes quiet. And it's this young man who sets up these little stools, that sort of thing. And he's followed by not an elderly gentleman, but probably a guy in his 50s kind of thing. So definitely old by the standards of current society. And he kind of wanders over pretty agilely, for an old guy. And he sits down on one of the stools, and he pulls out this little harp. And he starts plucking away at it. And then he starts telling a story. And yeah, everybody's pretty quiet and is intently listening to said story. If you guys care to listen, the story goes off about some event in in what they're considering like ancient history. And it's a talk of a great war between two kingdoms that you don't even recognize as places anymore. And he speaks about how one brought these dark creatures that they had created from the ground, is the only way he describes it. And with them, they made an army larger than that ever seen before in the history of the world. And to fight it, the other kingdom had trained great and powerful, what are called magic users. And the way the story kind of progresses is that the magic users weren't powerful enough to fight these dark and terrible creatures. And because of that, they had to do something, and the way he describes it is they had to ingest the evil so that they could fight the evil. But upon destroying the great evil armies of this other kingdom, and destroying the kingdom as a whole, they then became power mad and power hungry from this kind of evil magic they had used, and ruled the kingdom with an iron fist for 1,000 years. Until the great warrior was born and showed up. And this man single-handedly led the armies of many other nations and of the standard people, and again, with all this might, destroyed all these magic users not using an ounce of magic. And ever since, magic has been gone from the land, and 1,000 years have passed, and everyone's happy to be, rid of it, and that's some of the story. He's very adamant, and there's lots of, this is a long story, this takes like probably an hour or two to tell, and there's like booing in certain parts, not the storyteller, but like at events, and people are cheering at other pieces of events, and it's something that seems very, very close, and people really seem to care about as the story is going on, because everyone is involved.
I'm gonna just kind of talk to somebody that's close by and be like, is that story true?
The guy coming in Zomer goes, it's so long ago, no one really knows, but that's the way it's written, and it's what we believe.
You guys celebrate this thing or something? The people, the magic people?
Yes, a large part of the fall festival involves honoring the grand hero in his exploits.
Do you have a name?
Did he have a name?
Yeah,
it's been lost to time. We just refer to him as the grand hero. Many guess to his name, but none know it.
And I fall asleep.
If I was to guess, I would probably say it right there.
No, I don't fall asleep.
All right. So, Antimaeus, you're obviously outside. What would you like to do in this time period? It is now getting nighttime.
I'll just hide outside, pretty much, just chill.
Okay. All right. So time goes on. More stories are told. More music sang. More dances had. And as the night progresses, the barkeep, not the one you spoke to previously, an older man who's likely more so an owner of a tavern, comes out and gives everyone a free ale on the house. He hands it out to everyone, and he says, "Now up, we go outside for the lighting of the flying candles." And then everyone at this stands up.
Want to see this magic?
They start piling out of the tavern.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow.
I'll follow. I'll take my time. I'll be like one of the last people out of the tavern.
Is the barkeep still in there, or did he go with them?
He waits for everybody to kind of clear out.
Damn it.
And then, assuming everybody's out, he shuts the door and locks it, and then he follows.
Shit! Okay.
Maybe if you're at a seedier bar
Yeah.
for cowards.
So as everyone's pouring out, you can see this happening everywhere along the street. Several taverns, just big groups of people are kind of pouring out onto the street. And they're all kind of moving towards the trade area there with the large fountain, which is now even more ornately decorated. The booths have all the stalls have all kind of been moved off the side, aside from a few food vendors. And it's just a big area of song and dance and merrymaking. And there's, again, probably at least a few hundred people out here, if not 1,000. So it's a big gathering. And there are these like special lanterns strung up and all this stuff. And there's this kind of one stall off the right that is handing out the flying candles. What they really are kind of paper lanterns that it's crudely described, but essentially they're paper lanterns that you may or may not have seen before, but you light the center of them and the heat is actually what propels them to the air. And they're just like, they're handing these things out. They're not charging for them or anything else. They're just giving it to anybody that passes by, and they seem to have a significant number of them. Yeah.
I go and get 2.
So
I don't know what I need to
approach
do with them. I want 2.
You want 2?
I want 2.
Okay, yeah, you got 2.
And
All right,
I'll walk
so-
back to the group and like, I got some.
Yeah, I'll grab one.
Okay. Anyone else want one?
I'll go grab one. And then I assume that I'll like put my finger or something through it or like break the paper. Yeah, so it doesn't work.
No. There. Oh, so it doesn't work?
Yeah, well, because
He's like looking at it like,
Oh, I see. Not purposefully, but yeah, you're okay. I get it. I thought you were just like, yes.
one time I'm actually like, don't even have to roll. It's a fail.
Yeah, just a fail. Yeah,
I'm just gonna fail this.
Yeah. All right, so everybody kind of comes in, and then everyone's silenced down, and these drums start playing. It's like, and then this guy comes out in this, fairly ornate-looking armor with this mask over his face that kind of looks like a dragon almost painted on it. Kind of a Kabuki mask almost-esque. And everyone cheers out right as this happens. The great hero! And he draws this sword and kind of puts it to the air. And then fire kind of starts sprouting from behind him from some lit razor or something. You can't really tell from this angle, but flames pour from behind him. And everyone yells, "We honor you!" And then these dancers start funneling in from behind the fire and start making a circle kind of around everyone, and they're dragging these large cloths that are multicolored, and they spread out to make a complete circle around this entire crowd of people. And they're all dancing and waving, and they toss in cloths into the crowd, so that the crowd, and they hang on to it, so the crowd is bringing in cloths, and it makes this almost sun starburst-like effect going to the crowd with all these various colors of cloths surrounding the group and also going into it. If you can see an aerial view, it looked great. You can't really see what's going on in a ton from the inside, but everyone's dancing, and some people have the cloths, and they're all getting tossed around and singing, and then with that, the guy with the sword and the mask and everything else goes, "We send the lanterns for you, so you may find your way home." And then everybody with that seems to be just picking up the lanterns and letting them go. So I don't know, if you guys choose to do the same thing, but everybody else seems to be.
I can just picture mine kind of half-assy kind of coming off the ground and then just kind of
Yeah.
back down.
Oh my god! Run!
Bird marking out for the second time.
But no, all of the lanterns are released, and everybody's staring up at the sky, and all of the dancers, also wearing their kind of Kabuki mask type things, are all kind of dancing around the circle. Yeah, can I get so Atmas? I'm assuming you didn't go join the group. You're probably still standing outside of this area somewhere in the shadows. Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Can I get get the rest of you to roll me a d20, please? Just a blank d20. No addition.
16.
17.
5.
Okay. Alright. Can you give me a perception there, Jordan?
Natural 20.
Oh,
Alright.
oh boy.
You start to hear many boots thumping their way through back alleys, heading towards this big gathering. The rolls that I got you guys to make there determine that you guys are all, 2 out of 3 of you would technically all be together. So all of you are close to, not the center of this big circle, but close to the inside of it. And as everyone's kind of staring at the lanterns, you just start to hear screaming from various places. And immediately looking down, you've noticed that said dancers with kabuki masks have knives out, and they are closing in on the group and just stabbing the shit out of anyone they can see. And people are having a difficult time leaving due to the cloth and everything else that is tied up. As these dancers start to encroach in and kill people, several armed soldier types come out from the alleyways and start striking down any guards that were moving in to assist. And yeah, that's where we're at. Can I get initiative, please?
It's all fun and games until you came to Ardell.
13.
8.
7.
Is that you, Zena? Is that 7?
No, that was Scott.
Oh, sorry.
No, I got 8.
Oh.
8.
Who has higher decks? You or Zena?
I do.
I should have trained you. Is Pythagoras in any condition to fight? Start stabbing the civilians.
Oh, it's part of the show.
This party.
From some windows of buildings overlooking the square, 3 bolts fire in the 3 of you's general direction. 2 of them you're able to deflect with either glancing blows of the armor or your armor or just getting out of the way. 1 misses so poorly it kills someone beside you. But you are confident those 3 bolts were meant for you, and you are currently unaware of which windows they came from. So, with that, Pythagoras, you're up first. What would you like to do?
So how far away are these guys that are stabbing people?
It's a fairly large crowd, so they're probably like, at least 50 people between you and them.
Oh, okay, so they're just pretty much all over the place, spread out kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's becoming chaos, and people are breaking through the cloth and stuff now. They're kind of scattering all over the place. It's just like, yeah, it's tough to tell.
Is everybody around? We're all in the same
of,
group?
with the exception of Antimus.
Okay.
Yeah, with the exception of Edmonds.
Okay, so
He's one firing the bullets.
we should go look for Antimaeus.
I'm just gonna say get back to the hotel.
Yeah.
I got the key. We need to get back there.
Yeah. So let's do that.
And we drunk run back to the inn.
This isn't our fight.
Ask me some what to do.
So everyone's sprinting, you said?
They're trying to make their way out of the crowd.
With my perception, that was really good. Did I see where those bolts came from, by chance?
Yeah, you can identify 2 out of 3.
Sweet. I'll go to the nearest one to me.
Okay. It's in a 2-story building. Looks like kind of like a shop of some sort.
I can't remember what dash is. Is it double movement?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have I'm gonna use both my movements and then a bonus action to dash because I'm a rogue. So I can do 4 movements of what, 20, 30 feet. I don't know if I can get up get close by that time.
Yeah. However, the door to this
Village
building
trip.
is locked. So are you
Trying
gonna
to
go
give
through
us
the window,
poison
or are you gonna
wine.
try?
I'm like, free wine? What?
Um, I'll try the door. Yeah. I've these
Alright.
tools on me if you want.
All right. Yeah. So you can give me sleight of hand plus your usual proficiency or whatever.
30.
Oh yeah.
Or sorry, 20.
So, yeah. Unlocks, no problem. And what's your bonus on stealth?
My stealth bonus is +5.
Okay. All right. So you get in there. You get in there fairly quietly. You can see the staircase that leads up. So yeah, you can make it just about to the top of the stairs.
Okay.
And there's a door
I
up top.
will. I'll draw my short sword.
Okay. Okay. So, Pi, you're kind of leading the march through the crowd here. Nancy and Scott, you're following. Said, all right. So as you guys are pushing through the crowd, it's difficult, but you get to somebody who just kind of locks eyes with you and goes for a slash. And they are going to go for Pythagoras. Would you like to fight this person, or do you want to just kind of try and keep pushing through?
Yeah,
+3 to stumble.
yeah, I'll try and kill this guy. Get him out of my way.
Okay. All right. So it's going to take his first. What's your armor class?
18.
All right. He does give you a glancing blow for 2 hit points of damage. And it is Maple and Almadar. What are your armor classes?
Mine's 17.
16.
All right. 3 more bolts fire at you guys again specifically. 2 are glancing, but 1 strikes Almadar right in the shoulder, and you take 4 points of damage as it thuds right in. All right, Pythagoras, go ahead and try and strike this guy.
16.
All right, that definitely strikes. Damage.
13 damage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're just using your sword, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you slice this guy right across his chest down to his stomach, and he just falls to the ground.
Yay. Onward.
Okay. You keep pushing through. Alright, Antimaeus, you are at the doorway at the top of the stairs. You have your sword drawn.
How far is the doorway from me? Do I feel confident moving, opening it, and then, or is it just right in front of my face?
It's pretty much right in front of your face.
Okay, I'm gonna open it and hope for the best.
Okay. Alright, give me another stealth. Sorry, actually, I'll roll stealth. You said +5 on your stealth?
Yeah.
It opens up to a small room with a couple windows in it. You see a guy poking out the window with a crossbow. Looks like he's in the process of reloading right now. There's another guy, though, that is standing in front of the door that does see you come through it. However, you do have the chance to strike him first, if you'd like.
I'm gonna run by him and push the other guy out the window.
Nice.
Alright, what's your armor class?
16.
Okay. So he tries to slash you, you're too quick, you get past him, and you rush. Please give me a strength check.
8.
Alright. You give the guy a push. It interrupts him loading his crossbow as he kind of falls to the side a little bit, drops his crossbow on the ground, but he does not go out the window.
That's okay.
Alright.
Just go ace this guy.
Okay, so Maple and Almagar, you're just pushing through with Pythagoras. Pythagoras just cut somebody down, so you're sticking with him, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay, correct. Alright. You guys are almost to the crowd at this point, not to the street. I mean, people are running that way too, but it's not going to be as thick soon enough. Zena?
Yes.
One barely misses you, like grazes across your temple and leaves a little bit of a cut, but it's not a killing shot. And the other, again, strikes somebody in the crowd, and they fall down dead. This time only 2 bolts, but still aim for you guys. The guys upstairs, Jordan, the one will attack you that you had run by. Alright, he strikes you for 2 damage. And the other one draws his sword and takes a hasty slash, but misses. Okay, Ashmias, what would you like to do?
I don't know how offhand weapons work, but I'll draw my dagger as well and then take 2 slashes at the guy with that had the crossbow.
Okay,
I think it's just no bonus or something?
Yeah, it's no damage, so it's, if you don't have like a strength or a dex bonus, you don't add it to the damage roll. And you have a short sword in your first hand, right?
Yeah, I got a sword and a dagger.
Yeah, okay, so they're both light, so yeah, you can definitely do that. So you just make 2 separate attack rolls, the short sword adds bonus. Okay, other one does not.
So that's 2 natural 20s.
What? No.
Nikki rolled the first one and then I rolled the second one.
Just like,
Oh my
so we're already.
Yeah.
Alright, well, Jordan needs a dice inspection, clearly. And,
Yeah. So
yeah,
let's...
you just, like, do some straight-up freaking ninja shit, and you just stab out both directions and kill both of them.
Okay. Perfect, thanks.
Only 2 more perfect 20s to go.
Alright, so they're both dead. Maple, Almagar, and Pythagoras, you make it out of the crowd. For the most part, like, I think it's part of the crowd. There's still some killing going on, but it looks like a lot of people have backed off. The guys in the armor and such, looks like they had mainly stepped out to kill guards, and then maybe kill a few people past that, but they backed off inside of that. Yeah, so you guys are on the street, you're heading towards the tavern, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you're running towards the tavern, you reach the door, 2 bolts fly at you. Unfortunately, Maple, this one does catch you, but only for 1 point of damage. Just a small flesh wound. And you guys enter the indoors. There's no one in here right now.
What was
So-
that?
The inn was locked, wasn't it, though?
The tavern doors were locked.
Oh,
The
okay.
tavern doors were locked, not the inn. So the inn are the doors to the outside. The tavern has doors that go to the foyer in the inn.
There's doors. Are there any windows peering outside in that direction of the street?
Like to look out on the street?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to go over to one of those and watch this chaos ensue and see if I can find out where the hell those crossbow bolts are coming from.
Sure. Okay.
And if they can penetrate glass windows.
Well, then at least I know they're in my direction.
Alright, so you are going to watch the chaos in the street. So far, it's just people running.
I'm gonna
However-
tend to this bolt in my shoulder while she's doing that.
Yeah, okay. But there's anything you'd like to do.
It's the barbarian way.
I'm trying to look for Antimaeus. Calling his name or whatever.
You're all frantic. You lost one member. Now you're like, no,
Oh,
not another.
we'll just call him Annie M.
Annie M. Annie M.
Alright.
There's no place like home.
Okay, so while you're calling out to Antimaeus, you're turning your way into the window. You see some people running down the street, and then you see from an alleyway 2 guys kind of look from left to right, and they start running through the crowd towards the open indoors. Yeah,
I didn't make this one.
they start running all inside, and they have weapons drawn.
Well, if I see that, I'm gonna be yelling at anyone else inside and be like, "We got company!" And I'm pulling my spear and my shield.
Alright, ask me.
Yeah.
Is the crossbow loaded?
No, she interrupted me partway.
Okay. I'll load it.
Okay.
Can I fire in the same round? I don't remember.
Yeah, you're not moving, so yes.
Okay. I'll look out in the courtyard as what's out there.
People scattering around. There's one or two people still hacking individuals down. They seem to be pretty indiscriminate on who they're hitting. It's just like look, swing, kind of thing.
Okay.
Otherwise, not a lot.
Can I do a quick perception check to see if I recognize anyone in the crowd?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's 25. Specifically, I'm looking for that old lady, the old lady that yelled at me earlier as well. It's my main thought, but then if anyone else I find.
You did not see the old lady. You recognize the innkeeper for the inn that you guys are staying in. He's trying to usher a few people down the street back to the inn, but he's, helping like 4 people, so he's taking some time. You also notice that you do not see your comrades out there.
Okay, I'll take a shot at the innkeeper.
Okay.
12.
So,
Okay.
Oh, he is an innkeeper.
Yeah, that strikes him.
You can roll crossbow damage. I don't know how it. I don't have it.
Alright, you strike the innkeeper in the temple, he's dead. Also, what's your alignment?
Yeah, this might be
Neutral evil.
Alright. That might be shifting here shortly. Alright, that's into you. Okay. Alright. 5. There's 2 guys in here with weapons drawn. What would you do?
Are they in the inn now?
Yes, they are.
close quarter.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack them.
Alright. Left or right?
I'm gonna go with the left.
one's a little uglier.
Yeah, left. Wait, does one of them look like that mouthy barkeep I was talking to earlier?
No. Well, actually, the right one is kind of like a little more of a pretty boy kind of thing.
The right
so
one.
Maybe resembles. Right one? Alright.
Not so pretty anymore, right?
23.
Alright, that's definitely a hit.
14
I did
damage.
the choke.
14?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you just sliced the guy head to toe. Alright.
I'm angry.
And the guy's still fighting me after that scene there.
We'll see about that. Maple, what would you like to do to the other guy?
Oh,
Don't worry, there's anything left.
I have my
can-
spear and my shield, so I'm gonna try and spear him through the throat.
Okay, nice. Your attack roll.
They can't tell us who fired him.
Oh, and I am holding it as a versatile weapon because my shield is on my arm.
Okay.
Just so you're aware.
Alright.
And I roll a 1.
Oh, come on.
Alright.
You stab your dog.
Dog bite.
So where am I in this?
Well, Scott, I can answer that for you. You're currently the guy with a spear in him. You take 2 points of damage as the other guy in here does a very good deflect and just redirects the force of Maple's spear into your other shoulder.
I think it's time to change weapons.
Has this happened before?
I don't know, it kind of seems like a past life or something, right?
It's not the first time I've speared you.
I think it might have been the legend of Nexus and Scotticus or something. Yeah.
I just stabbed the members of my group because I love them.
He's gonna be like an old barbarian telling tales to his children, be like, "And this scar, spear. This one, spear. This one, spear."
Better find some gold quick. So I'm gonna need some heat to fix it.
Wow,
Alright.
how many people did you fight, Grandpa? 2. Alpine.
I traveled with one of them.
My cousin almost killed me. 18.
Alright, Almagar, it's you. You just got poked. But there's a guy in here. What would you like to do?
Sorry.
You need a new.
I'm gonna let out a bit of a just, or just annoyed at the whole situation. I came to a party.
That's all I got.
A piece of shit.
Your DM will never let you have a good time. When will you guys learn?
So yeah, I'm going to try to take his head off with the great axe.
Oh, perfect.
It's a natural 20.
Yes!
We'll roll again and see if you can get another 20.
Well, I guess I actually do
Let's not
that.
push fate here, guys.
No.
It's alright, regardless, you take the guy's head clean off his shoulders with a sickening kind of watermelon thump on the ground. That is over quickly. Alright. It is quiet.
What
for a
weapons do
moment.
they have? We might need them.
They have short swords.
And where would this spear hit me?
Right in the shoulder.
The good one or the one that's that
I was gonna say
no.
though, I think it's the one you already had the arrow in. Just turning you into a pincushion tonight.
Just out of nowhere, some
I
kid who was
worked
stable stabbed into. Sorry, I thought this is what we were doing. Alright. With
Okay.
that though, you guys do hear a ruckus upstairs. Some thudding and then some breaking behind. There's kind of a hallway that leads behind the stairs, like the Cooper stands on this floor. There's a hallway back there and you hear some breaking and shattering.
I'm gonna rip the spear out of my shoulder and try to shove it into.
I've
to the
already
door
done
and
that.
close-
I'll pull that out for you there.
You'll keep the spear.
It's my spear.
No!
Don't make me go into a rage.
Bad people!
Okay.
Take your shoulder, facing it.
Is there anything I can actually? Can I lock these doors? Like we're right by the front doors, right? The
Oh
front
yeah,
doors?
yeah. You can throw those things shut, and there's a bar right behind it. That you can...
Okay, let's do that, and then
Yeah.
then we'll pay attention to what's upstairs.
All right, sounds good. Okay. Antimass, what would you like to do?
I'll reload
Okay.
and fire at one of the masked dancers.
All right. Give me a D20, please. MacLeod, I should say.
17.
All right, that's good. And
You
damage
got
of-
it.
All right. Yep. You hit the guy back of the head. He's down as well. Good headshot, sniper.
It's only 9. It's still about half an hour.
Is there much, like, is everyone still going crazy? Are they outnumbering these dancers by now, or?
No one's really fighting back, to be honest. But the dancers, there's not too many out there anymore. Most of the people have scattered in the streets. There's not a lot. There's, a few dead and dying on the streets, and a few people left to try and tend to them. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, most of the slashing people have kind of run away. Aside from,
Okay.
the 1 or 2 stragglers, but you killed one of them. All right. I digress. What would you like to do?
So you said there was noises coming from upstairs, and then there was a.
Upstairs and on this floor, kind of where you would imagine kind of the back.
So someone's probably going through a room upstairs. Not that there's anything left up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs and check that out.
Okay.
If that's where Pie's going, then I'll be following.
All right.
Ha! 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 I just laugh and I run to the other room because I'm the one with the key. I'm not going upstairs. I'm checking out this floor first.
Oh, Maple, you.
I knew I should have taken that key.
But I'm not going to think about that till I get to the door, and I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. All right. So you two run upstairs to the door. Maple, you're still downstairs. What would you were running up?
I'm gonna grab the short sword off of the one guy that we decapitated there, and then I'm running to the other room where I hear the noise in the back.
Okay. All right.
And I'll yell at the group. I'm like, I got the back.
So you run to the back, down this kind of hallway to the back room, and busting through a door, also like the hallway turns, and just coming barreling through the door are these two just ugly, snarling creatures. They kind of look like a little bit like Hitman in a way, but they just look very deformed and yeah, not good at all.
Some silver-coated knives would be really nice to look at.
And they're also like pretty tall dudes as well. They're like 7 kind of thing. One's carrying this big axe. The other one's got a big 2-handed sword. And yeah, they're there just snarling at you, not very happy with your presence. All right. Anything you would like to do? You're not going to attack them, but anything you want to do in preparation?
Yell for the other guys.
Okay, right, so you're gonna yell. All right.
And I'll do a very loud whistle as to hopes to call Chief for backup.
All right.
Even though he's not supposed to be a fighting dog, this might be a good time.
This might be a time. All right. Almagar and Pythagoras, you do make it upstairs. You can hear somebody in your room rustling around, and actually your door is partially cocked open. But it'll take their turn to get up there, so that will be your turn. So, all right, it is special guys time. Okay, so these two creatures barreling down the hallway. Luckily, the hallway's only wide enough for one of them to really get to you and fit there, because they're kind of still ducking going through here. With just a hefty swing, he connects, and he does 15 points of damage.
Okay.
Are you still standing?
I am.
Okay, alright. Just this, and it cleaves, just cuts straight across your chest, and then goes into the wall, breaks some of the wood, and just pulls it right back out.
Jesus.
Okay, and the one behind him's just like, speaking in some kind of weird guttural language to him. Understand? Alright. Antimanis, would you like to do?
What are these guys attired in? Like, what kind of armor and stuff like that?
They're in kind of a black colored leather. They each have a cloak, but nothing too special outside of that.
Okay, well, thinking that my group members are safe in a way, I'm gonna run downstairs and run over to the dead innkeeper.
Yep.
And if there's no one around, I'm gonna check his body.
Okay. Alright, now
And then
everybody
For the master key.
kind of feed from him.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna run back up if I have space. But
Okay, it'll probably take it to run down and search him. Yeah, you definitely see a couple keys on him. He's got like a ring on his finger that you can see. Otherwise, nothing remarkable.
okay.
Alright, Pythagoras. So, you're up, the door's cocked open, you hear somebody rummaging through your room, but you also hear from downstairs a loud yell and then a crash.
I'm gonna turn.
And a bit of a whistle.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn to Almagar and go, I got this. And I'll kick the door open.
Alright.
And yeah, as he says that, I'm just instantly just barreling down the stairs.
Oh, you just jump down the flight. You just don't run.
Pretty much, full rubbering out, yeah. Stairs are yeah.
So, in this room, Pythagoras, kick open the door, and this just grotesque kind of pig-like creature turns around, looks at you, and it's got this big two-handed sword. So you see this. How would you like to do?
I'm gonna scream at it and be like, what do you want? Who are you people?
It utters back something in its language, just "Bora, Buta," and it just looks like it's bringing its sword over its head. It's gonna try and cleave you.
Okay, well, I'll stab it.
All right. And as a peripheral glance too, your beds are turned over, your sheets are thrown about. I mean, you guys can have shit in this room, so none of your stuff is touched, but the place is thrown around like you might be hiding somewhere.
I rolled a 1.
I'm sorry.
Fall upon your sword.
Someone really wants that wine back.
Let's see. All right. You lose your balance a bit. Luckily, you don't lose your weapon or anything else, but on your next attack roll, you will take disadvantage.
Okay.
All right. Maple. Downstairs with these guys. What's like to do?
Well, I don't really have a lot of options, so there's only one in the hallway that can reach me, so I'm just gonna try and hold it back. So
Okay. You can try and give it a stab or something.
yeah, because I took that sword. I don't have any stats for the short sword, but I'll let you do that.
Yeah, that's
but,
fair. It would be the same attack as if you were attacking with your spear, just not versatile. So as if you were attacking with your spear with one hand.
Oh, okay. Then
And
yeah.
then damage is different, but the attack roll is the same.
Okay, well I'm gonna try and swing at it, and I don't know what weapon did it have. I'm just gonna try and attack its wrist on its weapon hand to try
That's a
and.
great axe.
Okay, yeah, well I'm gonna try and attack its weapon hand and go for the wrist to see if I can just maybe cut it off.
All right, so go ahead and give me an attack roll.
2.
Oh,
How much?
2. So 2 plus
All right.
yeah 6. So that'd be yeah.
Yeah. All right. So swing and a miss. The thing lets out a. Okay.
I want to look around as after I do that because I clearly.
busted into the room.
I want to look around just after I do that to see if there's anything that I might be able to use as an improvised weapon.
Okay. All right. There's a couple shards of wood on the ground, but otherwise not a whole lot. I know.
Shards where? Like what way? Like if
Like when it swung its, when it swung its axe, and
Swinged it.
I'm not speaking proper English now. I don't know what it is. When he swung the axe and it hit the wood kind of wall, shards of wood fell out of that. So it's like
yeah, but on like our left or right or.
oh, it's on. Sorry, he was swinging from right to left, so it's on your right and kind of near your feet.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So Almagar, what would you like to do? Pi told you to run down there. You hear snarling from Pi's room. You hear bang from down below.
well, again, it did sound like it was louder coming from downstairs, so I'd assumed there was a bigger threat downstairs, so I just going full out, because I knew where Maple had headed, so.
All right, so you beeline it down there. You won't have a chance to attack, but you do get around the corner. You see that Maple has lost blood. There's blood on the floor beneath her. Looks like she has an open wound as well. And there are two of these just deformed, pig-like looking guys snarling in the hallway, looking like they're going to try and hack her down.
Okay. I'll basically yell at her to get down, like, so that when I can just come in and. Mind you, that might not work until next. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably won't have a chance to attack this turn, but you can definitely yell for her to get down, which you can react to if you'd like, Maple. If you so wish. Alright, so your dog also has arrived, and it's going to try and bite at this thing's ankle. It doesn't need much of a telling what to do. It understands the threat pretty instantly. Wow, actually, it does bite at this thing's ankle a bit.
Stomp.
Yeah, the thing doesn't really seem to notice too much. Did you end up like getting down or anything else when he yelled that at you
Yes.
there, Maple? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So big guy that clearly slashed at her, he sees you behind and just does a and he's gonna try and hack at you there.
Just click.
Almagar. Yeah, he strikes you for 9 points damage. Relentless. Okay. Hi, the guy upstairs will try and see you. So he swings. You are, even though you stumbled a little bit last time, you are quick enough to get out of the way of the swing. He clunks it into the side of the bed frame and shatters out. Okay. Antimates.
I'm gonna run back up stairs.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'll close the door, the second door. Actually, I'll close every door.
There we go.
All right. Run through the door shut. Run through the door shut. All right.
Yeah.
You're back
Okay.
upstairs. Anything else you'd like to do?
I'm gonna strip the guys down
Okay.
and,
Alright.
and see which armor fits best. Eventually.
All right. You start stripping them down. Okay. Tigris.
Alright, let's try this again.
You got this.
15.
That is a hit.
Oh, okay. Now is when we need to roll 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
10 damage.
Nice. All right. You give this guy a hefty opening across his ribcage, and he stumbles back like a step. He still seems very engaged in the fight, but he's gushing some kind of black blood. Yeah. So, all right. Maple. So you kind of have ducked down.
Yeah.
The thing swung over you. You felt a little bit of spray on the back of your neck.
Yeah, let me take a blow. Now you're really gonna own.
Yeah, I'll duck. Can I duck and turn and see if I can take out a leg?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I would like to see if I can do that, if I can hit something other than someone
Sure.
on my team, preferably. Nope, I miss. I rolled 3.
Oh.
I've
Okay,
changed
it's not
my
fun,
dice.
is it?
I've already changed my dice. This is my 3rd set of dice.
Okay. Well, at least you didn't cut Scott's feet off. That's something. Little small victories here, guys.
That's right.
Okay. So, Almagar, what would you like to do?
Well, I'll definitely be swinging at this guy with my great axe, which I already had drawn.
Yep.
That's doing pretty good.
15.
That's a hit.
Okay, so 11.
Okay. All right. You hack at this guy, and you just rend his stomach to the point where you can see things coming out of it. This black, kind of purple ooze drips the floor, and it grabs its stomach. Still holding its great axe, though. This thing is not a happy camper, obviously, but looks more angry than anything else. Alright, it does not hit you. Barely a miss, but it's a wild swing. It strikes into the floor. And
This great axe is stuck.
no, not quite, but yeah, it's not a happy dude moment.
There's
The
not-
guy
There's no proficiency damage addition. It's just your stat.
Okay. All
Like,
right.
so 9 damage.
We will know. For next. The guy behind this guy, you see a 2-handed blade come down and slice him in half from behind. Takes him from shoulder to chest, and as that corpse falls to the ground, he steps on top of it, ready to fight. And it's just a big bloody black and purple mess that's all right now. Okay, upstairs. Your thing.
Wait, does that mean Maple's literally covered because she was on the ground and she's still
Yeah,
covered?
Yeah.
It's like covered.
I'm like the only one that cleaned up when I got here, and it's just
How good that did you?
Alright, it pretty severely misses you there, Pi.
Yep.
So, that's me.
Does this armor look half decent? Coming from my history in this town, is this like, you know, good hired help, or is this kind of like patchwork armor hired help?
Can you give me a perception? Or an intelligence, it's higher.
9.
Okay. You can tell it's just a standard leather armor, but it's difficult to tell. From your knowledge, though, I mean, somebody would have had to pay a decent coin for these guys to be working for them. Yeah, I mean, they're not cheap.
Okay. And then just from my own knowledge, comparing it to my armor, I just have standard there.
Yep.
So it's comparable, right?
It would be. Yeah.
I'm not looking at it, I'm like, wow, look at that clasp. That's a nice clasp.
No, it's pretty comparable. The only thing that's nice about it is it's black, so it might be a little bit better for nighttime stuff, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay, instead of just stripping them down then, as I kind of observe it more, I will take off their cloaks and then check their bodies for anything of value or anything of note, for rings and gold and whatever else, assuming that this was just a raid and not knowing about anything else.
Sure. Alright, they do have some cash on them. A total between them of 4 gold pieces, 3 silver, and 12 copper. So as you're kind of looking for identifying marks, you will also find a note on one of them that has a wax seal on it, but it's broken. Pythagoras.
Okay. Stabby stab.
Stab stab.
Stabberoo.
Definite hit. It's like 20 something.
Yup.
7.
Nice. Alright. How do you kill this thing?
I guess I'll just go for the gut, and then once he drops to his knees, I'll just go on his throat.
Nice. Alright.
That's too much.
I'm gonna break that
I'm gonna try and spring up and hit him with the sword.
Alright.
Bash with a face the shield.
I got nothing at this point. I'm just gonna try and hit something. 20. Natural 20.
That's amazing. So you can roll me critical damage. So 2d6 and then add your strength. Or dex sometimes.
6. So 10 damage.
Nice. Alright, so not only do you give the guy a very, very good stab, he didn't really seem to pay much attention to you, because, you know, you were the body lying in his friend's corpse. Well, friend. I guess.
Under all the stakes.
Yeah. So it takes him by
Surprise!
total surprise, and he kind of stumbles back a couple feet after taking a sword directly to his kind of, you know, lower abdomen area. His eyes kind of just open wide, and you can see these very kind of... The eyeball itself looks like it's been maybe white at one point, but it's over time kind of been taken over by its blackness, and it's just like this strange red iris around a very dark pupil. Yeah, and it's just eyes open wide. It doesn't look too happy with that. Almagar, what would you like to do?
Alright, well, can I reach him from my...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's take a swing at this guy, and worst case scenario, I get some pure activation.
Whoops! If you tell me 20,
yeah.
well, you're damage.
It seems crazy just because of all the amount of ones I've gotten tonight.
Oh, so I get to roll 2d12s.
Yeah, 2d12s. Yeah.
Be 25 damage.
Oh, Jesus.
I rolled a 10 and a 12.
How do you kill him?
Nuclear bomb.
I think he just explodes. Just.
Yeah, atomic detonation.
If Maple is off to any side at all, or she's not raided directly,
Kinda like
No, I'm just covered. I'm just covered. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna try to bring the great axe action from below and just swoop right up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you can go right and be for sure with the button there, and it's just like a little bit of resistance, and then a little bit of resistance, and then all the way shatters. I mean, brain matter opens all the way in essence, all the way at 100%. Alright, yeah, so that is one dead creature. Okay. At this point, you guys will be out of initiative. So, Pythagoras, you make it downstairs to just see a hallway that's like wood. Purple, black, a little bit of red, wood. And your two injured comrades standing there opposite as well.
Okay. I guess Antimaeus isn't here then.
Hey, we need to find him.
What are these
In the
things?
meantime, though,
Almagar, search the bodies, and I'm gonna tend to her wounds.
Antimaeus, in the meantime, would you like to do?
You said it's like uniquely black armor, though, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah, it
if
would
I
take it.
bought it from a store, this is actually black.
this is blacker than the blackest.
As long as I don't hear any commotion outside or down below, I'm gonna find which armor fits best, and I'm gonna put it on. Depending on his shoes, I'll check his shoes, see if they're nice shoes.
Alright, they are nice shoes. They're high boots.
Are they better than my cleaned traveler's clothes?
Probably with the amount of walking.
And they happen to be perfect fit, right?
Close enough. I mean,
I'm standard
Front and back.
build.
our modern concepts of
Okay.
perfect fit,
Thank you.
probably aren't accurate back in the
I
day.
just need
No,
a bit thicker socks.
yeah,
Thicker or
just-
thinner socks, no big deal.
yeah,
Okay.
just-
Let's find a tailor later on.
I'll do that, and then when you want, you can tell me what the note says.
Alright. Do you want it
Thank you.
privately, or...
I needed that.
Yeah, let's keep them old school.
Okay.
We'll keep it semi-old school, so I'm going to type it to you as opposed to passing paper. I don't want to mail something else.
It's okay. I'll
Accent
just,
send it to everyone.
I'll give it into Google Translate, and then it'll read it to me.
There we go.
I don't have to go to speak meeting business.
So, you take a look at the note, read it, you put on the clothes, cool. So you're currently tending to some wounds there, Pythagoras?
Yeah,
Oh, there's some moves going around for sure.
I got her all healed up.
I'm gonna check the last guy we killed. I'm gonna check him first.
Okay.
I'll go back upstairs and check that body.
The two men at the
It
front
depends while you're up there, right?
that the two men at the front that I grabbed the sword from, I want to look at their weapons and armor and all that, and if they had any things on them. And same with the pigmen, if they had anything on them too. I want to see if I can loot anything off of these bodies as well.
Alright. So, the first thing you guys are going to notice as you're searching these pig dudes is the putrid smell. They don't smell great. This blackness really doesn't feel slimy. It doesn't feel like blood at all. It's almost like oil. But yeah, so you search them. Their armor is fairly ragtag. Like, it was not pieced together originally for them. It looks like it's potentially someone else's at some point. It's just, but buckles and straps have been added to kind of lengthen it. But outside of that, these guys carry nothing of wealth on them. They have this kind of shitty armor. They have some crappy boots with some holes in them. In fact, one of them don't even have boots. One of them just has straight up boots, and that's the one upstairs. But yeah, otherwise, nothing really of import on the big dudes. The other guys, however, that came in with two, they are wearing this kind of black leather, which just looks like standard leather with dyed black. Otherwise, you already took their weapons, but they each have pouches that appear to have coin in them as well, if you so care. And one of them has a note.
We'll take those.
I'll read the note.
Okay. Alright. As far as gold is... wow, 7 gold pieces, 1 silver, and 18 copper. Okay, you need the note. The note says, they have arrived, we act tonight, capture 1, kill the others.
Capture 1, kill the others?
Is it signed by anyone or an insignia?
No, nothing. There is a wax seal that was broken to read it, obviously, but it doesn't have like a signet ring in it or anything else. It's just like a circular wax.
If you don't bring me a shrubbery this time.
Oh, I don't know. I know nothing about this. This is just Maple seeing if there's any chance. She's gonna pull out her trinket, which is a letter to, it's an invitation to where people were murdered, and I want to see if there's any resemblance to either the parchment, the writing, or the stamp seal.
Sorry, it's an invitation to where?
An invitation to a party where someone was murdered.
Oh.
Which was the one where I took was the invitation to the big party, and then I went and all of our people were slaughtered. And that's why Scott and I went on this trip.
The writing is different.
Okay.
However, this might sound a little far-fetched, but the wax is eerily similar. I mean, I guess there could be many people that use the exact same color of red wax dye to seal these things, but to you, like the paper and the wax, all the writing is different, just seems too familiar.
Okay. Thank you. I'll write that down. And I'll even point that out to everyone so I don't look like a crazy person going like I'll show them and be like, look. Like, it's similar.
Alright, what would all of you guys like to do at this point?
We should search for Antimaeus.
Well, I'll take a look out the window and see what's going on out there, because if we go right out, people are still after us. They'll just...
Sure. So, out in the street, there's a few corpses. You can see down the street a little bit. It appears to be a few other people that became victim to some bolts. But outside of that, not a whole lot of people. Guards have started to show up in the center square, clearly from other areas because all the ones that were there were killed. But yeah, otherwise it's kind of ghost towny.
I'm going to take a moment to just clean myself up a bit because I'm bleeding pretty good, so I just want to...
Okay, well, what I'm going to suggest is we haul these bodies out the back door or somewhere where we can burn them or something. But get these out of the inn, and I'm just saying push them out the back door, lock the back door, and have someone posted at the back and someone posted at the front. And then if Antimaeus shows up, he shows up, but I don't think it's a good idea to be running around a town we don't know at nighttime.
I'm in no shape to run around the streets. God, I'm just bound. I don't need my bolts in me.
Are you
Or
badly
spears.
are you badly injured?
He's had a spear.
I'm at about half, so...
Because I can heal you if you need it.
Oh, you actually have that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that you actually had healing.
Yeah, I'm a physician.
Ah, physician, okay. Well, if you see me, I'll be struggling trying to, like, shove gauze and stuff.
No, I'm fine.
But I'll certainly accept any help that's offered.
All right, Mantis, what are you up to?
It'll be like Dr. McCoy after a few too many Romina nails.
What kind of a building am I in? Is it just like a house?
Yeah, it looks like there's a shop of some kind downstairs, but up here it just looks like living quarters.
Okay. What's the state? It's not luxury or anything. It's just kind of a
No, just a pretty. I mean,
hovel.
it wouldn't be completely poor. To a porter shop downstairs, but you know, it's not luxury by any means.
Okay, I'll take a quick look around in the obvious places where people put their coins, and then I'll check downstairs to see what kind of shop it is.
Okay. Can you give me a quick search for?
Sure.
This one?
Investigate or perception?
You investigate.
Bar the back doors
Um,
and try and
14.
block them.
You get 7 back, Scott.
Oh, awesome, thanks.
You find a stash. It's kind of under this semi-obvious floorboard. It has 3 gold pieces, 5 silver, and 25 copper.
Alright, I'll go downstairs to see what kind of shop I'm in.
It looks like kind of a shop for household items, just like rooms and cupboards and cups and that sort of thing.
Is there a nice cup?
They're pretty standard cups.
Like a Disney themed cup or something?
No Disney theme park cups.
How about
No Starbucks where you're at.
Frozen. Oh.
how about an Ardell cup?
No Ardell cup.
That sucks. I'm gonna take a peek or outside out the front door and see what's going on in the square.
Okay. It's pretty dead at this point. Most of the people that were dead dying in the street have since passed. And there's a few guards that made their way to the town square now where we haven't, but otherwise, yeah, the streets are pretty empty.
Okay, so there's not a bunch of dead bodies all over the ground.
There are a few, yeah. But not a ton.
Loot those corpses.
I'll make my way back to the inn, but I will definitely check bodies on the way back.
Alright. So as you're checking them, most of these people don't have a ton on them. All in all, you gain 14 copper just from what they had in their pockets. But otherwise, they're pretty much peasants.
Oh,
Well, while we're in the inn and everyone's kind of like, you know, healing wounds and everything,
Yep.
we're in the inn. There's got to be somewhere where this guy has his money or vault. I want to see if I can find that.
Sure.
You don't know it yet, but you won't be coming back to get it.
I'm figuring if no one's already in the building right now, they're not coming back.
Yeah, might as well loot it. Take some.
Well, we're assuming most people are dead anyway, yeah.
That's under the assumption. I just got attacked by pigmen. I'm done with this
Well,
place.
Well, what the fuck are we doing here? Let's go find the bank. Deal with these pagans.
So, yeah, can you give me a perception, please?
Sure can. 6.
Alright. There's the pretty obvious copper, like, iron lockbox that's behind his kind of podium where he stands, but otherwise that seems to be about it. It's got a big heavy lock on it.
Can I pick it up?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it's heavy, but yeah, you can definitely.
Can I shake it? Like, does it sound like there's stuff in there?
Sounds like there's a point in there,
Alright.
I'll do a search around too.
Right.
I'm gonna take a look and see if I can find a room that is
6.
like, not obviously a guest room, like maybe his quarters or.
Ooh, that's thinking.
You can give me a perception as well there, Scott.
I'd assume he'd be on the first floor.
What did you get, Pi?
Just a 6.
Alright, yeah, so you're kind of in the same boat.
But
You see
if there's any like healer kits I can find, or food or booze, whatever, I'll grab that stuff.
as far as food and that sort of thing is concerned, it will be probably located in the tavern. Still
Which is locked up.
That won't take much to get in.
What
And I got 16.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, as you're searching around, you're pretty confident that you find a panel on one of the walls in the hallway where you fought those things
Oh,
that is removable. I mean, it's not like a secret door by any means, but it's just like a panel of the wall. If you kind of stick your fingers in, you can pull back and it pulls away.
okay. We've already cleared the people out of here.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I assume you guys tossed them outside.
Yeah, that's what I
Toss
said.
outside
I
and
wanted to toss
walk
them
the
out
back
back.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, yeah, I'll check the panel out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you take a look at the panel. Looks like it should be fairly easily removable for you.
Okay. Let's take a look at the time for door number 1. Or panel number 1.
All right. So you pull back the panel, and yeah, it falls away. It's about just a little shorter than normal person size. You have a duct going into it, but it reveals a small room, about 10 by 10. And inside room, sorry, you can immediately see as the light kind of floods in from the hallway. You see a bed in here, and you see a chest at the foot of the bed, and closet and that sort of thing.
Because no one else is around here, right? So I'm
Nope.
gonna kind of go in and replace the panel.
Okay.
Just not trying to be sneaky, but just for fun, because.
Okay. Yeah. All right. However, the room gets quite dark when you do this.
Right. That would probably.
Sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna open it up again enough to get some light in,
Yep.
and with that light, I'll go check out the. Well, I'll take a look in the room. I don't want to step on any nasty carpets or anything. So I'm a little paranoid still. Oh, that was the other guy.
That
That
was
was the other guy.
That was
but
that.
hey,
That was
no,
that stupid
past
life.
lives.
Yeah.
Who was that? Just I don't know.
no, that was your past life.
Yeah, that was right before I died for reals. Oh, right, yeah. So, oh,
You had this weird dream one time that this carpet ate you, and you never trusted them since.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'll just take a look around and see the chest, and I'll basically focus on the chest.
Focuses on the chest.
And I rolled,
Isn't it
9.
nice bed?
Okay.
That was so
It looks
cute.
like a fairly ordinary chest. There's a big, heavy lock on it, but otherwise, yeah, it looks like a pretty standard or wooden planks with steel kind of bracing on it.
Oh, so probably not big. Well, I guess I could break into it using
You might be able to break it through the wood parts. Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to bust the lock off at least.
Sure. Yeah. Give me a strength check. And how are you going to try and bust it off? I should ask as well.
With the butt of my great axe, just kind of like chop it down onto the.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give me a strength.
Oh, wow. 5.
Perfect.
I rolled
The
a
lock
2.
is the lock is really on there. No such luck.
I'm gonna run over, close the panel, and then bang on the wall, like see if anyone,
Okay.
I don't know if
So you're
it's
just
gonna
bang the
work.
wall for noise.
I don't
Yeah.
have anything to break the lock with on mine, so I just want to see if I can just pick it up and just throw it down, and see if I can just smash the lock that way on the floor.
All right. So you toss it down, and I mean you're pretty strong. So you
Yeah.
throw it, and it breaks the wood floor, but no, the box.
I break the floor. I'm like trying to break the box. I break the floor. Yeah, that's my luck
No,
today.
the wood.
It's like
You also start to hear this pound, 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 pound on one of the walls. This is kind of from the
I'm
hallway.
gonna pick up the box and just like slowly walk to where I hear this noise. Like, the hell is that?
Okay, you hear this before the hallway curves on the wall. You start to hear this pound, 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 pound.
And then I'm gonna stop and I'm just gonna hear if I hear. I'm waiting till I hear someone coming.
I guess I'll approach. I'm gonna pull the sword out.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't know what's going on. So I got the box in one hand, and I'm just like gonna go down the hallway with my sword.
In my best, eerie, scary barbarian voice. Maple.
And you hear a scary ass voice calling to you within the wall. Also, Almagar's gone.
I'm just gonna stand there and looking around and go.
The wall, like,
Oh,
scratch,
God.
scratch.
Hey, it's here.
Do I hear it coming from
Oh,
like?
yeah, you hear it. Yeah, you hear it.
I'm gonna slowly stab like where I hear the noise.
So you hear on the other side of the wall, Scott, you just hear this thud, thud of this like blade being pressed against it. And while this is happening, Antimax, you do walk up to the indoors.
I'll go to the back,
Okay.
and then I'll use the key.
Okay. Yeah, you get to the back, and there's like a couple of these really bloody, disgusting corpses of creatures you have really never seen before.
No, we did see one in the basement, didn't we?
Yeah, there was one there. You're right. So it's very similar to that creature. And it was out of the farm with the big plant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so very similar creatures. They stink. There's two of them. Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna open unless I can get into the tavern area, like, with a different door, I'm gonna open the door really quietly.
Okay, so you put in the key, unlock it, open the door quietly. Yeah, you can hear around the corner of this hallway people fighting on a wall.
I'll relock the door, and then sneak around.
Okay. So you sneak
Basically, what
around.
I was gonna do, pretty much when she starts kind of poking, I know she's there.
Yep.
I'll just take my foot and just tap the part or the wall enough so that it falls open, like the little door.
Alright,
So
so
I can, like-
as you're like sneaking down the hallway, there, Antimaeus, this wooden panel just goes in front of your face. And you guys hear this, and I'm assuming probably look around the corner, and you just see Antimaeus in the hallway, being sneaky, a wooden panel that has fallen right off the wall of the floor, and Almagar's boot.
I'll turn with the crossbow and point it in that direction.
Okay, you see Almagar. Almagar, you see an Antimaeus with the crossbow.
I wink
Oh.
and then shoot it past him.
Alright, a crossbow bolt flies past you after a friendly wink. And yeah. they're all-
Oh, don't need another one of those in me.
Yeah.
And then I'll yell, I got him! And then I'll wait for Almagar to play dead.
I'm gonna come running around the corner once I hear that.
Do you drop dead, Almagar?
Actually, the bed's right there behind me, right? I'll just kind of plop down and kind of sit on the bed and kind of, yeah.
Alright, basically you run in. There's a dead-looking Almagar on the bed. He's got lots of blood on him.
I'm not gonna like play dead any longer. I'll just kind of open my one eye and look around.
I'll just sigh, and then I'm just gonna inspect the bed. Is it nice sheets and pillows?
It's nothing too fancy. I mean, it's nicer than the ones in your guys' room, but it's, pretty basic.
As she
I
does
found a
that,
chest.
I'm gonna come into the room as she's doing that, and I'll see Almagar and start yelling, "Almagar, no!"
I'll start to laugh.
I just like look at You could be like dead, and I'm just like, idiot.
So let's get this chest open.
Yes.
Gotta have something worth in here.
I'll go.
Ah,
and
yes,
fiddle-
Entimaeus.
Fiddle with it.
I'm gonna, Entimaeus, this one too, and I'll just drop it. And then I'm just gonna go over and I'll start ripping apart the bed and the pillow and the mattress, and just to make sure there's nothing else hiding, because I know peasants like to hide things in places like that.
And also, Entimaeus, I see you fared better than we have. For some of us.
Yeah, I don't even question where he's been. I'm just like, this one too.
My new boots, my new cloak, my new armor.
Yeah.
I see you got an upgrade. Nice.
Okay, so yeah, you take a look at the lock. You want to try and pick it? It looks like a standard kind of heavy lockbox lock.
I'm gonna use sleight of hand to try to use the key on it without anyone looking.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, give me a roll.
And this guy's a good pick. The lock pick. It looks so effortless.
Natural 1 plus 5.
Perfect. So not only does everyone see you pull a key out, not so subtly, but you break in the lock.
Perfect.
Maybe the wrong key.
Then I will use my lock picking device to try to fish that out.
Okay. Alright.
What is it? Sleight of hand?
Yes.
16.
I assume
Snazzy new
that,
getup you got there.
Yeah.
What? I've always said. You guys have just been drinking.
We
haven't
have
drank
been
that
drinking. So I'm feeling pretty
What?
sober right now.
Oh.
On a side note, what the fuck is going on?
What are you talking about? What are those walking pigs outside?
I don't know.
Oh well, if,
They're trashing
if
the
you're
place
curious,
when we got back
Neither
here.
of them put these holes in my shoulders.
So, do you think you can get this box
Okay.
open too?
Yeah, so you are able to fish the piece out of the lock.
Perfect. I'll try the other key.
Okay, try the other key.
I'm assuming it's 2. You said keys, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there is 2. And yes, this one does work.
Perfect.
Alright, so it unlocks, chest opens up, and there are a couple things in here. One is a fairly large and heavy book, and the other is a big bag.
And I'll be kind of on the edge of the bed, kind of looking over the open lid.
I'll pull the stuff out.
Okay.
Place it on the floor.
Alright, bag is
Is the
clearly
bag
full
made
of
of
coins. Bag is clearly full of coins as it rattles when it hits the ground. And the book appears, at least by the cover and the spine, to be in a language you don't understand.
Can we all look at the book to see if maybe one of us knows what it says?
None of you know what it says.
I
Ooh.
only know common.
Therefore, it's worthless. Leave it behind.
Now that the chest is empty, is it fairly nice compared to the one we got made for us?
Entimaeus, you should look to make sure that there's no hidden compartments in the chest.
I did look. There's nothing.
The
Okay.
one you guys probably had made is better.
Okay.
Or, no, I think the one you had made is better.
Should we keep the lock? We got a key for it.
Oh, yeah, keep the key in the lock. Quick thinking.
Maple, could you check underneath this chest for me? That'd be great.
Sure, you should check this little box here.
Yeah, I'll try to use the thieves' tools on the smaller box.
And I'll
Alright.
move the chest.
Okay.
Not cool. I only got 8 sleight of hand for the thieves. Well, I don't know what thieves' tools do, so
They give you
8 slash
proficiency
10.
bonus.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, 10.
Alright, yeah, that's enough to pick this lock so it popped open.
Oh, barbarian
there
total
is-
4 is a.
There is not, there's nothing underneath the chest. It's just board. I mean, unless you want to expect
Is the board solid? I'll
it
check
appears
it.
to be, yeah, but you can give me a perception check.
7.
It's all board.
It's nothing under
Alright.
here.
So the lock pops off the lockbox, you can open it up.
I'll hand it back to Maple. And say, I can't open it. Try hitting it against the ground one more time.
I'm gonna hold on to it and I'll do it again. I'm not gonna
All
drop it, but I'm gonna hold on to it and actually forcefully try and do it this time.
Sure, you smack on the ground forcefully, and sure enough, it cracks open. A couple of loose coins fall out of it.
Holy, you are so strong.
Not only did the lock not break, it just like opened on the ground too.
Wait, loosen it up for her. Nice.
Awesome.
I'm gonna pick up the random coins that fell and I'm gonna see what I got in the spoils here.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So in that small lockbox, there is 25 gold pieces.
Ooh, that's our money back.
Yeah.
61 silver.
Or mead! Actually, the mead's free tonight.
And 55 copper.
Ooh. What's in that bag?
More than that. You open it up, and
While she's counting,
yeah,
I'm gonna go try to open the tavern.
sure.
I'll meet you guys
Nice.
over there.
That'll take the counter a little while. And we might have to recount after she counts it. But yeah.
Hey, I can read.
I ran out of fingers and toes.
You get a whopping 127 gold pieces in that bag.
Ooh.
279 silver, 550 copper.
Not bad, guys. Not bad.
I assume we got the money back from our stay, from our hotel room. I wasn't satisfied with my room.
Make sure you go up and you steal those pillows and